The steel hull groaned under the crushing pressure, a world sealed by hundreds of meters of salt water. Life aboard a submarine isn't for the faint of heart. It's for those who embrace the challenge of extreme confinement and unwavering camaraderie. In this cramped space, where time is measured in missions and sunlight is a distant memory, men and women dedicate their lives to a silent dance of strategy and survival, prepared to dive deep and experience the reality of those who call the ocean their home, a sanctuary of secrets and unforeseen dangers. This journey will peel back the layers of a hidden existence, revealing the true cost and profound beauty of a life beneath the waves. It's a testament to human resilience, an exploration of the unique psychological and physical demands placed upon an elite few who navigate the silent, stark abyss. Asterisk, are you ready to embark on this extraordinary journey? Asterisk, Chapter 1. The Underwater Baptism. The air thrummed with a palpable tension, a silent anticipation that hung heavy before the initial dive into the unknown depths below. Each crew member felt the deep, resonant vibration of the colossal machine beneath their feet, a slumbering beast of steel and advanced technology poised to awaken and plunge. The final, shimmering rays of sunlight danced fleetingly on the surface, casting a poignant, almost melancholic farewell to the familiar world they were about to leave behind for weeks, perhaps even months on end. This brief yet profound moment etched itself into their collective minds, a last vivid connection to the vastness and freedom above Commander Pereira. His voice, a steady anchor of calm and unwavering experience amidst the growing hum and subtle tremors, broke the pregnant silence with his crisp, unwavering command: prepare to dive. Instantly, the deep, resonating alarm bells sounded throughout the entire vessel, a guttural roar that seemed to penetrate their very bones, unequivocally announcing the solemn commencement of their extraordinary and perilous journey into the deep. The highly trained crew, moving with precise, almost instinctual coordination honed by countless drills, rushed to their designated stations, each acutely aware of the vital role they played in this intricate ballet of submergence, a testament to countless hours of rigorous training as the massive ballast tanks began their controlled flooding. The unforgiving ocean water swiftly enveloped the submarine's sturdy hull, and the peculiar symphony of the deep began its gradual, immersive crescendo. The distinct sound of groaning metal, interspersed with soft creaks and mysterious whispers emanating from the immense ocean, echoed eerily through the internal compartments of the vessel. Simultaneously, the vibrant, natural light from the surface diminished rapidly, then completely replaced by the ever-present, eerie gloom of the profound depths below, marking the immediate and complete embrace of their new, isolated reality. A noticeable, almost visceral sensation of being gently pulled downward accompanied the shifting trim levels as the submarine commenced its slow, direct descent into the abyss, gaining speed. It was an unsettling, yet strangely familiar feeling, deep in the stomach, akin to being in an elevator that plunged relentlessly into an unfathomable and unseen unknown. Gravity seemed to intensify within the hull, subtly pressing everyone deeper, further into the very heart of the lightless, cold ocean. Each meter gained in depth added to the colossal external pressure exerted on their steel shell, a silent, constant, yet profoundly terrifying threat. The blue glow, a cherished and fleeting vestige of the sunlit surface world, gradually, then completely, vanished from their perception as they descended further into the dark. Total and absolute obscurity swallowed the submarine hull, and the only visible illumination now emanated exclusively from the complex array of glowing control panels and the utilitarian internal lamps that meticulously lit their confined world. This immediate and undeniable isolation served as a stark, powerful reminder of their profound detachment from all that was familiar and free above, a profound, almost absolute silence, so intense it was nearly deafening, settled over the seabed. Around them, broken only by the persistent, rhythmic, mechanical hum of the submarine's intricate machinery. The crew's glances, quick and meaningful, were exchanged across the various stations, conveying a complex mixture of underlying anxiety, mutual trust, and resolute determination. They were now unequivocally and collectively in their true element. A specialized existence utterly removed from the conventional world, bound tightly by a shared purpose and the immense, encompassing ocean around them. The sensation of immersion was deeply profound, resonating both literally within the watery depths that surrounded them and figuratively within their collective consciousness. The submarine transcended its identity as a mere vessel. It became an intrinsic extension of themselves, their unyielding fortress, and their temporary, confined home. They had implicitly and utterly entrusted their very lives to its structural integrity and advanced systems, knowing no other choice but to trust in a reciprocal and unspoken understanding. The submarine's safety was now meticulously entrusted to their unwavering skill, their tireless vigilance, and their collective ability to react under pressure. Each crew member understood that their individual performance directly impacted the survival of the entire vessel and every soul aboard. This mutual reliance was the bedrock of their operational existence. The first dive, a monumental act in itself, invariably served as a vivid and powerful reminder of the sheer magnitude of the intricate and often perilous task that lay ahead for each and every one of them. It represented an unwavering commitment to the vast unknown, a solemn vow of profound silence as they navigated the mysterious and unpredictable depths. The weight of this commitment pressed down on them, as palpable as the ocean's pressure, and with this final, resolute descent into the deep, their extraordinary underwater adventure truly and irrevocably began. The hatch above was sealed, the surface world a memory. They were now part of the deep, a hidden predator, a silent sentinel, bound by steel and water, their new reality stretching out into the vast, dark, unknown. Chapter 2. The confined space, the stark reality of confined living space asserted itself with palpable intensity with every single deliberate movement. Every measured breath taken within the submarine's cold metallic shell. Narrow, almost impossibly cramped corridors incessantly demanded a constant, highly practiced choreographed dance from every crew member to avoid incessant bumps, rushes, and accidental collisions, thereby rendering any notion of personal privacy an utterly non-existent luxury within these incredibly close quarters. Challenging daily adaptation they all quickly mastered out of sheer necessity and survival. Bunk beds, often stacked 3 high and minuscule, specialized compartments designed for maximum efficiency, served as their temporary dormitories, where the elusive act of sleep was frequently and abruptly interrupted. The constant, subtle motion of the submarine, combined with the omnipresent and often loud operational sounds of machinery, permeated every one of their resting hours. Personal space was virtually zero, a concept utterly foreign to this environment, which in turn inevitably fostered an unavoidable and often intense intimacy and profound interdependency among all who served aboard this deeply submerged vessel. For extended periods of time, every single cubic inch of the submarine's meticulously designed interior was rigorously optimized for absolute functionality, leaving no extraneous room for anything superfluous or unnecessary. A complex, bewildering web of wires, intricate pipes, and an array of critical gauges relentlessly covered every available wall and bulkhead surface, serving as a constant visual reminder of the sheer complexity of the advanced machinery that diligently kept them alive and fully functioning in this extreme artificial environment deep beneath the waves. Every single item had its precise, designated place, and every small space served its dedicated, its critical purpose. The pervasive feeling of claustrophobia could, at times, be overwhelmingly powerful for some crew members, particularly during the initial challenging days of a new mission before their minds and bodies truly began to adapt. The human mind had to undergo a rigorous and often profoundly challenging process of reorientation, painstakingly adapting to the complete absence of windows, the profound and disorienting lack of external horizons, and the absolute, unwavering reliance on highly intricate and often temperamental technology for any semblance of connection or vital information from the world. Outside their thick steel bubble, a constant mental battle, daily tasks ranging from complex engineering checks and intricate repairs to the mundane yet essential galley duties, demanded incredibly precise and deliberately careful movements within the extremely constrained spaces of the vessel. A simple, unthinking turn or a slightly misjudged step could very easily result in an inconvenient bump against a sensitive console or direct collision with a fellow crewmate, significantly increasing the crucial need for constant attention, acute spatial awareness, and an intrinsic respect for the already minimal personal space of others in close proximity, preventing costly errors. Meals, central to their daily lives and morale, were consumed in small utilitarian mess halls where crew members had to take turns to eat due to severely limited seating and overall space. The food itself, while consistently nutritious and rigorously engineered for maximum longevity and energy, was prepared within incredibly tiny galleys and always served on practical, durable trays, meticulously reflecting the inherent pragmatism and relentless efficiency demanded by their unique and profoundly challenging operational environment. Deep beneath the boundless ocean, the profound and relentless absence of natural light profoundly affected their innate circadian rhythm, completely disorienting the body's natural internal clock about the true passage of day and night. Digital clocks with precise timestamps and rigidly enforced operational schedules became their soul, its unwavering references, a constant, stark reminder that time in this submerged realm was a highly artificial human construct, meticulously managed and artificially regulated to maintain optimal operational efficiency and the overall well-being of the crew, an essential and unyielding discipline they embraced, ultimately successfully overcoming the inherent and continuous challenges of this extreme confinement. Was a continuous, deeply personal, and highly communal process rooted deeply in unwavering adaptation and steadfast acceptance. It represented a profound mental challenge, equally as demanding and taxing as the physical one, where unwavering resilience, a robust and often dark sense of humor, and an intrinsic ability to find small moments of levity were absolutely essential. Tools for tirelessly maintaining their sanity, focus, and morale in such an extraordinarily restricted, psychologically demanding, and uniquely unforgiving world deep beneath the waves. A true test of spirit, the relentless proximity of their fellow crew members, day in and day out, forged unique and unbreakable bonds unlike any other found on land. This constant shared experience within the steel tube created a deep sense of mutual understanding, where unspoken communication often sufficed, and the well-being of one was intrinsically linked to the well-being of all. They became more than a crew. Became an extended, interdependent family navigating the abyss together, relying on each other for psychological support as much as operational efficiency. A silent pact of shared endurance and unwavering loyalty. Chapter 3. The submarine routine. The day on board commenced invariably early, impelled by an unwavering sense of profound purpose and a rigid, military discipline that served as the very backbone of their existence. Alarm signals, though intentionally soft and unobtrusive, were persistently insistent, signaling the precise commencement of yet another relentless cycle of vigilant watch, arduous work, and critical tasks within the dark, silent depths of the vast ocean below. Each crew member understood this unspoken rhythm. Personal hygiene, a fundamental human necessity, was immediately transformed into a complex and often logistical challenge. Showers were purposefully quick and utilized an extremely limited supply of water, which was universally considered an incomparably precious resource aboard the vessel, conserved with the utmost care. The absolute priority remained consistently on economy and efficiency, even in the most fundamental and basic daily activities. Underscoring their commitment to sustainability and isolation, the safety rounds were conducted with relentless scrutiny and uninterrupted and meticulous vigilance over every single one of the submarine's vital and intricate systems. Every pipe, every gauge, and every control panel was inspected with obsessive meticulousness by highly dedicated teams whose trained eyes left no stone unturned. The paramount safety of the ship and every soul aboard was, and would, forever remain their unwavering, highest priority. Training was not a sporadic event or an occasional exercise. It was an intrinsic, continuous, and absolutely fundamental part of their daily routine. Rigorous emergency simulations, demanding combat drills, comprehensive procedure reviews, relentlessly kept the crew exceptionally sharpened in a perpetual state of readiness for any unforeseen eventuality that might arise in the unpredictable depths. Complacency was simply not an option, a word banished from their vocabulary. Internal communication was executed with absolute precision and efficiency through dedicated intercoms and specialized radio systems, diligently ensuring that every member of the crew was constantly and instantly informed about the prevailing operational situation and any critical orders. Clarity and conciseness were highly valued and stringently enforced to meticulously avoid any potential misunderstandings within such an intrinsically critical and high-stakes environment, where every single word carried immense weight and consequence. Teamwork unequivocally stood as the very backbone of their entire operation. Every single crew member placed their absolute and unwavering trust in the others to perform their individual tasks with unparalleled perfection, knowing deeply that one person's unforeseen failure, no matter how minor, could potentially and catastrophically compromise the safety of everyone aboard and the success of the entire mission. This profound interdependency was the lifeblood of their collective existence. Rest periods were often regrettably short and frequently fragmented, meticulously fitted into the demanding and relentless work shifts. The quality of sleep, though difficult to consistently achieve, was an absolutely crucial factor in maintaining optimal alertness and the essential capacity for sound and swift decision-making under conditions of extreme and sustained pressure. Even brief moments of rest were carefully guarded and maximized. The routine, while inherently monotonous in its repetition, is nonetheless filled with activities that help the mind find solace and stimulation. Reading, engaging in competitive board games, and having casual, often humorous conversations filled their scarce free moments, diligently helping to alleviate the relentless tension and maintain consistently high morale within the confined steel environment, preventing stagnation. Each crew member developed a personalized approach to their shift work, understanding that consistent performance was paramount. This often involved unique sleep schedules and methods to optimize their limited downtime, ensuring they were always mentally and physically prepared for duty. The submarine demanded unwavering focus, even in moments of rest, shaping their very perception of time and energy management. This structured existence, driven by the constant cycle of watches and duties, fostered a deep appreciation for the rare, quiet moments and the profound bonds formed with those who shared the same extraordinary, challenging, and isolated reality. Their lives became defined by the rhythm of their shared mission. Chapter 4. The strategic silence aboard the submarine was not merely the absence of sound. It was, in its purest essence, a formidable weapon, an absolutely essential and meticulously practiced tactic in the complex and inherently dangerous realm of submarine warfare. Every minute noise, every subtle vibration that echoed through the hull was relentlessly monitored and exhaustively analyzed by their advanced sensors, as it could reveal the precise presence of another vessel or the sudden emergence of an imminent, deadly danger in the depths below. Highly sensitive hydrophones worked tirelessly and without pause. Advanced acoustic eyes meticulously sweeping the profound depths in search of the most elusive echoes. The sonar operator was a true maestro of sound, endowed with an extraordinary ability to interpret the most subtle and fleeting signals emanating from the vast ocean, discerning between the innocuous and the truly menacing with uncanny precision. Their auditory acuity was paramount. Abrupt movements within the submarine were avoided at all costs, with extreme prejudice, as even the slightest, uncalculated disturbance could inadvertently generate minute noises that might be tragically detected by sophisticated enemy sensors lurking nearby. The entire crew moved with the almost ethereal lightness and precision of ghosts, each step meticulously calculated not to disturb the profound and vital quietude that surrounded them. Stealth was not merely a tactic. Kate was their very lifeblood. Crucial machinery was strategically shut down or operated at its absolute minimal speeds to drastically reduce any generated noise to an almost imperceptible whisper. The unwavering priority was to remain utterly invisible, an unseen predator silently lurking in the inky shadows of the abyss. Discretion was unequivocally the absolute key to their survival and to the ultimate success of every delicate and clandestine mission they undertook. Conversations, even the most seemingly trivial ones, consistently kept in profoundly low tones, often devolving into mere whispers, particularly when in close proximity to sensitive operational areas of the submarine. The deep and implicit respect for this vital silence was an unspoken rule, yet it was rigidly and universally followed by everyone aboard, essential to preserve their critical tactical advantage over any potential adversary. Attention to the minutest details was pushed to its absolute extreme. A seemingly innocuous loose object that might rattle, a door that happened to creak even slightly, or anything else that could potentially produce the smallest undesired sound was immediately and decisively identified, then corrected and effectively silenced. Sound discipline was not merely a protocol. It was diligently practiced as a refined and essential form of art aboard the highly specialized vessel. The pervasive tension within the submarine noticeably increased and intensified during critical moments of target approach or when navigating through inherently higher-risk areas of the ocean. The crucial silence became even denser, almost palpably thick and heavy in the air, as the entire crew, holding their collective breath, listened intently, every nerve acutely alert. Maintaining a state of absolute and unwavering maximum alert, the ultimate success of any mission critically depended, in large part, on their unwavering and collective ability to remain completely undetectable by any external force. Silence, therefore, transcended its ordinary definition of mere quietude. For them, it was unequivocally a dire matter of life or death, serving as an invisible yet impenetrable barrier standing resolute between the entire crew and the constant, ever-present danger that profoundly inhabited the vast, dark depths of the ocean. This enforced quietude permeated every aspect of their lives, from their movements to their thoughts, becoming an integral part of their identity as submariners. The absence of external noise amplified their internal worlds, making every thought and feeling more pronounced. The crew's sensory perception sharpened dramatically in response to this environment. Their ears became finely tuned instruments, capable of distinguishing the subtle nuances of sound that would go unnoticed on the surface, transforming them into living extensions of the submarine's formidable acoustic array, Capitula, Wool, A. Alimenticile. Abortive meals aboard the submarine were not merely a necessity for survival. They were cherished moments of profound unity and a much anticipated welcome respite from the relentless and inherently stressful daily routine, despite the extremely limited space within the galley and mess hall. The dedicated cooks tirelessly strove to prepare dishes that were not only tasty and satisfying, but also consistently nutritious and profoundly comforting for every single member of the hard-working crew. The meticulous menu planning was an intricate logistical challenge of epic proportions, considering the severely cramped storage space available, and the imperative need for foods that would meticulously keep well and retain their quality for exceptionally long periods of time at sea. Canned goods and frozen provisions formed the unyielding staple of their diet, carefully supplemented by various dried and freeze-dried products to ensure a semblance of variety and prevent culinary monotony. The unmistakable and inviting smell of fresh food, particularly the alluring aroma of freshly baked bread or the invigorating scent of newly brewed coffee, was a true balm for both the mind and the weary body of everyone aboard. These comforting aromas permeated the confined air, providing a brief yet intensely reassuring reminder of the vibrant world outside and its simpler, cherished pleasures. The portions served were always meticulously generous, diligently ensuring that every crew member received more than sufficient energy to sustain their physically demanding tasks and mentally draining duties within the submarine's enclosed environment. The insidious sensation of hunger in a submarine was considered an absolute threat to morale and efficiency, something to be avoided at all costs, showing sustained performance. Despite the inherent and unavoidable limitations of space and available resources, the highly skilled galley team consistently strove to introduce as much variety as humanly possible into the menu. They often delighted the crew by surprisingly presenting special dishes on holidays or after the successful completion of particularly demanding missions, turning ordinary days into memorable ones. These small culinary surprises were immensely appreciated by the entire crew. The mess hall, while undeniably small and primarily functional in its design, was the vibrant heart of social interaction. It was the place where captivating stories were told, humorous internal jokes were freely shared, and a unique brand of dark, sardonic humor openly flourished. It stood as one of the very few communal areas aboard where the rigid formal hierarchy could be slightly relaxed, fostering more open and genuine interaction among all ranks. The gratitude expressed by the crew towards their dedicated cooks was immense, genuine, and deeply heartfelt. These culinary professionals were the true guardians of the collective morale, providing essential comfort and a vital sense of welcome, familiarity in an environment that was otherwise inherently hostile, isolated, and austere. Their unwavering dedication and culinary skill were distinctly visible and profoundly appreciated in every single dish they meticulously prepared and served. Food, in its deepest essence, transcended mere physical sustenance. It served as a powerful and tangible link to normalcy, a constant and deeply comforting reminder of home and the life they had temporarily, yet profoundly, left behind on land. Every single bite of a well-prepared meal was considered a small, precious piece of comfort, a brief culinary refuge amidst the vast, dark, and often unforgiving immensity of the ocean that relentlessly surrounded them. The act of sharing meals together, even within the tight confines, fostered a unique sense of shared experience and deepened the bonds among the crew members. It was a time for camaraderie, where the common human need for nourishment also served as a profound psychological anchor, strengthening their collective spirit. Chapter 6. Unwavering camaraderie. Camaraderie aboard a submarine was far more than a mere luxury or a pleasant social aspect. It was, in its purest form, an absolute necessity for survival within the uniquely challenging and often perilous environment they inhabited, confined tightly within a shared, restricted space for extended periods. The entire crew inevitably transformed into a resilient family unit, inextricably bound together by an unyielding mutual trust and a common, profound, and shared destiny. Inside jokes and playful teasing were not just simple amusements. They served as an essential internal mechanism to effectively alleviate tension and to significantly strengthen the bonds between them, creating a unique collective identity. Their humor, often laced with a distinct, dark, or ironic undertone, acted as a crucial psychological defense mechanism against the relentless stress and the pervasive monotony of their submerged existence, diligently helping to maintain high spirits. The intimate act of sharing stories from home, proudly displaying cherished photos of their loved ones, and openly discussing their personal plans for the distant future was a common and profoundly valued practice. These raw moments of shared vulnerability and genuine openness created an incredibly deep sense of connection among the crew, fostering bonds that would ultimately prove strong enough to withstand the most arduous and testing privations they would face together. Mutual support was strikingly evident in every single task they undertook, no matter how grand or seemingly trivial. If a crew member was struggling with an assignment, experiencing a moment of doubt, or simply feeling overwhelmed, others would promptly offer their unwavering help without hesitation, a silent, implicit understanding passing between them. Deeply ingrained one for all for one mentality was not just a motto. It was the fundamental bedrock of their collective existence and survival. Celebrations of birthdays and significant holidays, even if they were necessarily small, simple, and often improvised with the very limited resources available, were nonetheless regarded as incredibly important events for consistently maintaining high morale and for providing brief yet profoundly meaningful moments of pure joy amidst the relentless and arduous work that permeated every aspect of their daily lives aboard the vessel. Understanding and profound empathy were absolutely crucial qualities for navigating the complex social dynamics within such a confined space, as each individual invariably dealt with the unique challenges of isolation and stress in intrinsically different ways. A deep and genuine respect for individual personalities and coping mechanisms was absolutely fundamental to maintaining the crucial harmony of the group and fostering a supportive atmosphere. Officers and enlisted personnel frequently worked shoulder to shoulder, side by side, and the rigid, formal barriers of hierarchy noticeably diminished in the face of the common challenges they shared and the inherent dangers they collectively faced. Experience and invaluable knowledge were universally valued above mere rank, creating an environment of practical meritocracy where every contribution was recognized. This unwavering unity was the intrinsic, powerful force that kept them steadfast and resolute in the face of the most perilous and uncertain missions imaginable. It was the comforting, absolute certainty that they would never be truly alone in the vast, dark, and threatening depths of the ocean. Their profound camaraderie was, without a shadow of a doubt, the invisible fuel that relentlessly propelled them forward, day after day, to every challenge. This profound interdependence extended beyond their official duties, creating a web of personal responsibilities where each crew member felt a deep personal stake in the well-being and success of their comrades. Their shared existence fostered an almost familial bond, transcending mere professional collaboration. The crucible of the deep-sea environment stripped away pretense and superficiality, revealing the true character of each individual. This raw authenticity allowed for a genuine connection that made their camaraderie not just strong, but uniquely unbreakable, a testament to the human spirit under pressure. Chapter 7. The mental challenges life within the steel confines of a submarine was an unrelenting, constant test for the human mind, demanding an extraordinary degree of resilience to consistently endure the profound isolation, the omnipresent stress, and the persistent psychological pressures. The absolute absence of natural light in any meaningful contact with the outside world consistently weighed heavily upon the psychological well-being of every single person aboard. Pushing their inner limits, monotony in its most insidious form could easily become a silent yet formidable enemy, subtly leading to profound mental fatigue and a dangerous gradual loss of focus. The relentless repetition of daily tasks, combined with the almost complete lack of new and stimulating external stimuli, rigorously demanded a remarkably strong mental discipline and a constant conscious effort to keep the mind actively engaged and acutely alert, effectively combating the creeping apathy that could otherwise easily set in. Homesickness was an ever-present, persistent feeling, a quiet, aching sorrow that subtly permeated the consciousness of all crew members, especially during the protracted and often distant missions. Cherished photographs of loved ones, rare and precious letters from home, and the few strictly permitted communications served as a soothing balm for the soul. It simultaneously acted as a painful, amplified reminder of what was profoundly missing from their immediate lives, intensifying their deep yearning for family. Dreams, when they managed to manifest, often became remarkably vivid and, at times, disturbingly unsettling, serving as a raw manifestation of the subconscious mind, tirelessly attempting to process and make coherent sense of the profoundly unusual and intensely demanding environment. Sleep, though desperately needed for recovery, did not always reliably bring the necessary deep and truly restorative rest required by both the mind and the body, frequently leaving many in a persistent state of semi-vigilance, even during supposed periods of repose. Anxiety and pervasive stress were unavoidable and constant companions, their intensity notably increasing during critical alert situations or when in dangerously close proximity to potential enemy forces. The absolutely crucial ability to maintain an unwavering calm under extreme pressure, to think with pristine clarity, and to make rational, split-second decisions was undeniably vital for the collective safety of everyone aboard and for the successful outcome of the mission. The pervasive and relentless lack of privacy could, at times, feel utterly suffocating, making it incredibly difficult for individuals to find truly quiet moments of genuine introspection and personal solitude needed to process their complex thoughts and emotions. The mind was almost perpetually in a state of heightened alert, acutely conscious of the constant and uninterrupted presence of others, which continuously drained mental and emotional energy to effectively combat these formidable mental challenges and diligently preserve their collective sanity. Many crew members meticulously developed their own unique personal coping strategies. These ranged widely from disciplined practices of meditation and light exercises performed in confined spaces to simply finding a small, quiet corner to immerse themselves in a book. Each individual sought and cultivated their own private mental refuge to alleviate the pervasive tension and maintain their inner balance. The mental strength of the crew was, in fact, every bit as crucial and vital as their technical proficiency and physical prowess. It was their remarkable and unwavering capacity to resist the psychological tolls, to tirelessly adapt to an unnatural existence, and to steadfastly maintain an undimmed hope that allowed them to persistently persevere day after day in the profound depths, comically overcoming the immense psychological challenges of their extraordinary and demanding existence. The psychological toll manifested in various ways, from subtle shifts in mood to more pronounced emotional responses, all of which were observed and managed within the close-knit community. This constant internal battle underscored the immense sacrifice inherent in their service. Their minds became as much a battlefield as the external ocean, constantly fighting against the inherent challenges of their isolated existence. Yet, through this struggle, they often discovered reserves of inner strength and resilience they never knew they possessed. Chapter 8. Darkness and Light. The profound darkness of the deep ocean was an overwhelming and omnipresent force, a stark and constant reminder of the inherent fragility of life at such unimaginable depths, hundreds of meters below the sunlit surface. The internal lights of the submarine, though essential for all operations, provided only a tenuous and limited contrast to the vast, impenetrable, and infinitely dark abyss that completely enveloped them from every direction. The artificial illumination on board, no matter how efficiently designed and meticulously maintained, could never truly replicate or replace the natural brilliance and comforting warmth of the sun's rays. Consequently, all the vibrant colors seemed perceptibly less vivid and saturated, and the very fundamental notion of day and night was utterly lost within the monotonous, unvarying glow of the electric light, creating a disorienting temporal disconnection. The perception of time itself became remarkably distorted within the submarine's sealed environment. Hours could, at times, drag on with an agonizing slowness, while at other moments they would inexplicably fly by with surprising speed, directly depending on the intensity and critical nature of the mission at hand, or the simple, repetitive, daily routine. The human mind was forced to adapt to a new rhythm, an artificially imposed tempo that was far removed from nature's clock. Shadows danced eerily and enigmatically on the walls of the narrow corridors, creating subtle illusions and perplexing distortions in their peripheral vision. The human mind, in its inherent and ceaseless quest for familiar patterns and recognizable references, tirelessly attempted to make sense of an environment that profoundly lacked conventional visual cues, such as windows or vast, open landscapes. A constant battle of perception, moments of light, in a deeply figurative sense, originated entirely from internal sources, from the unwavering camaraderie shared among the crew, from the spontaneous bursts of shared laughter, and from the small, yet profoundly significant, victories achieved in their daily tasks and successful operational maneuvers. These brief, illuminating flashes were the crucial elements that consistently managed to pierce through the psychological darkness of their prolonged confinement. The deep and profound anticipation of a rare and fleeting opportunity to emerge to the surface and, at last, witness the sun's radiant light again was almost a spiritual yearning for many aboard. It represented a primal and deeply human desire to reconnect with the vast, boundless, natural world in its breathtaking beauty. A powerful hope that diligently sustained their spirits and resolve throughout their arduous deployments. The profound darkness surrounding the submarine, though undeniably intimidating and oppressive in its sheer immensity, paradoxically also offered a distinct and vital sense of security. It meticulously concealed them from any external danger, allowing the submarine to move furtively and completely undetected within its natural, secretive environment. This inherent invisibility in the depths was, indeed, their ultimate and most potent defense against potential threats, and so, suspended between the oppressive, inky darkness of the vast ocean and the artificial, constant illumination of the vessel, life relentlessly continued. It was an unceasing cycle of vigilant watch, arduous work, and a persistent, almost subconscious, quest for a single, elusive ray of sun. Even if that ray existed only within their vivid memories of the past and their unwavering collective hope for the future surface world, the psychological impact of this perpetual twilight was profound, leading some to experience vivid hallucinations or a distorted sense of reality, highlighting the unique mental fortitude required to navigate such an unnatural existence. Yet, within this constant interplay of internal light and external darkness, the crew forged a unique relationship with their environment, becoming intimately attuned to the subtle hum of the submarine, a living entity that protected them from the boundless, lightless abyss. Chapter 9. The fierce discipline aboard the submarine was not merely a desirable military virtue. It was, in its very essence, the unyielding backbone that guaranteed the paramount safety and the relentless operational efficiency of every single task and system. Every crew member, without a single exception, adhered meticulously to the rules and established protocols, doing so with an unwavering strictness and an unspoken understanding of the profound gravity of their individual and collective actions. All orders were executed with an unparalleled military precision, allowing for absolutely no deviations or any discernible hesitation in such an intrinsically critical and inherently dangerous environment. Even the smallest mistake, the slightest oversight, possessed the potential to unleash catastrophic consequences, culminating in the tragic loss of human lives and the ultimate failure of their vital mission. There was simply no margin for error in this realm. The schedules were rigorously enforced and meticulously planned, extending from the abrupt moment of waking to the brief periods of fragmented rest. Every single minute available was painstakingly accounted for, carefully calculated, and optimally utilized to maximize the overall productivity of the crew, and to ensure their unwavering readiness for any unforeseen eventuality that might arise at any given moment, demanding constant and complete focus, the unwavering maintenance of order and impeccable cleanliness was not merely a routine chore. It was an ingrained collective obsession. Every tool was precisely placed in its exact designated location, and every surface was kept immaculately spotless, diligently ensuring that the submarine operated flawlessly, like a perfectly oiled machine poised for immediate action. The harsh marine environment was unforgiving. Cues and any form of negligence was a dangerous luxury they simply could not afford. Inspections were conducted with relentless frequency and an incredible level of meticulousness, diligently ensuring that all vital and complex equipment remained in pristine, perfect working order and within precise calibration specifications. This constant and pervasive vigilance was their most effective and primary form of prevention against potential failures, serving as an indispensable layer of crucial safety for every soul aboard. Continuous training was an ongoing, relentless process that served to reinforce their inherent discipline and meticulously transformed their instinctive, raw responses into perfectly coordinated and highly efficient actions, even under extreme pressure. Exhaustive repetition was the undisputed key to achieving unparalleled excellence in their skills and to the flawless execution of all complex tasks, diligently ensuring that the entire team operated as one unified, seamless organism. The weight of individual responsibility was immense and rested heavily upon the shoulders of each crew member, but the profound weight of collective responsibility was even greater and more encompassing. The team functioned as a single, highly cohesive unit, where each integral part depended intrinsically upon the others for the overall and ultimate success of the mission, creating an unbreakable web of mutual reliance and unwavering support. Discipline transcended the mere act of simply following rules. It was about internalizing a profound and unwavering code of conduct that unequivocally prioritized paramount safety, relentless efficiency, and their very own collective survival in one of the most hostile and unforgiving environments on the entire planet. It was the silent, solemn guarantee that, despite the immense odds, they would ultimately return home, their duty fulfilled. Chapter 10. The Sound of the Ocean. The ocean, with its vast, mysterious, and often unsettling presence, communicated in a language all its own, unique and profound. The crew of the submarine were, without a doubt, its most attentive and dedicated listeners, finely attuned to its every nuanced whisper and roar. Sound was not just a perception for them, it was their most vital and often only portal to the outside world, complex and ever-changing symphony of almost inaudible murmurs and deep, resonant groans emanating from the depths, highly sensitive. Hydrophones, an extension of their own hearing, tirelessly worked without pause, their advanced acoustic eyes meticulously sweeping the profound depths in search of the most elusive and subtle echoes. The sonar operator was a true maestro of sound, endowed with an extraordinary, almost innate, ability to interpret the most minute and fleeting signals originating from the vast ocean, discerning with uncanny precision between the utterly innocuous and the genuinely menacing. Critical skill. Abrupt movements within the confined space of the submarine were stringently avoided at all costs. With absolute prejudice, the slightest uncalculated disturbance could inadvertently generate telltale noises that might be tragically detected by sophisticated enemy sensors lurking nearby. The entire crew moved with the ethereal lightness and profound precision of ghosts, each step meticulously calculated not to disturb the vital and profound quietude that enveloped them. Stealth was not merely a tactic, it was their very breath, their unwavering lifeblood. Crucial machinery was strategically powered down or operated at its absolute minimal speeds to drastically reduce any generated noise to an almost imperceptible whisper. The unwavering priority was to remain utterly invisible to external detection, an unseen predator silently lurking within the inky shadows of the abyss. Discretion was unequivocally the absolute key to their survival and to the ultimate success of every delicate and clandestine mission they painstakingly undertook. Conversations, even the most seemingly trivial ones, were consistently maintained in profoundly low tones, often devolving into mere whispers, particularly when in close proximity to the highly sensitive operational areas of the submarine. The deep and implicit respect for this vital silence was an unspoken but rigidly enforced rule, universally followed by every individual aboard, serving as a critical element to preserve their tactical advantage over any potential adversary. Attention to the minutest details was pushed to its absolute extreme. A seemingly innocuous loose object that might rattle, a door that happened to creak even slightly, or anything else that could potentially produce the smallest undesired sound was immediately and decisively identified, then promptly corrected and effectively silenced. Sound discipline was not merely a protocol. It was diligently practiced as a refined and essential form of art aboard the highly specialized vessel. A skill honed by constant awareness. The pervasive tension within the submarine noticeably increased and intensified during critical moments of target approach or when navigating through inherently high-risk areas of the ocean. The crucial silence became even denser, almost palpably thick and heavy in the air, as the entire crew, holding their collective breath, listened intently, every nerve acutely alert, maintaining a state of absolute and unwavering maximum alert, prepared for any eventuality. The ultimate success of any given mission critically depended, in large part, on their unwavering and collective ability to remain completely undetectable by any external force. Silence, therefore, transcended its ordinary definition of mere quietude. For them, it was unequivocally a dire matter of life or death, serving as an invisible yet impenetrable barrier, standing resolute between the entire crew and the constant, ever-present danger that profoundly inhabited the vast, dark depths of the ocean. This enforced quietude permeated every aspect of their lives, from their movements to their thoughts, becoming an integral part of their identity as submariners. The absence of external noise amplified their internal worlds, making every subtle creak of the hull and every distant hum of machinery profoundly significant. A constant dialogue between man and machine. The crew's sensory perception sharpened dramatically in response to this environment. Their ears became finely tuned instruments, capable of distinguishing the subtle nuances of sound that would go unnoticed on the surface, transforming them into living extensions of the submarine's formidable acoustic array, forever changed by the sounds of the deep. Chapter 11. Essential technology wasn't merely an aid. It was the very lifeblood of the submarine, a complex and intricate network of interconnected systems that meticulously ensured the vessel's continuous survival and optimal operational capability in one of the planet's most inherently hostile environments. Every single component, from the smallest, most unassuming sensor to the largest, most powerful nuclear reactor, was absolutely vital to their continued existence beneath the waves. An engineering marvel, the array of control panels with their hundreds of twinkling lights, tactile buttons, and precision-engineered gauges collectively formed the undisputed nerve center of the submarine. Highly skilled and experienced operators diligently monitored every single parameter with an unparalleled level of heightened attention, interpreting the constant stream of data that critically determined the vessel's precise course, its current, depth, and its overall operational condition during every moment of the mission. The colossal nuclear reactors, metaphorically, the very pulsating heart of the submarine, provided the immense and unwavering energy necessary not only to propel the gargantuan vessel silently through the deep waters, but also to meticulously maintain every single system in full, continuous operation, ranging from basic lighting to the most complex and sensitive computers. Their intricate operation was meticulously controlled with an absolute adherence to safety protocols, the torpedoes and missiles, representing the submarine's formidable offensive arm and its strategic deterrence capability, were diligently stored and maintained in a perpetual state of maximum readiness. They lay patiently awaiting the precise, tactically opportune moment to be launched, only in the event of an absolute strategic necessity. Under the most stringent and meticulously calculated command orders, always held in reserve for the critical moment, the highly advanced navigation systems, powered by state-of-the-art GPS technology and sophisticated inertial guidance units, meticulously ensured the precise and accurate location and positioning of the submarine at any given depth, even within a vast, featureless world where there existed absolutely no external visual reference points to guide them. Their reliance on these systems was absolute, trusting technology oversight. Onboard computers tirelessly processed vast and incredibly complex quantities of raw data in real time. This information ranged from highly detailed sonar readings and intricate meteorological data to sensitive intelligence reports received from various sources. This crucial flow of information was swiftly provided to the commanding officers, empowering them to make incredibly swift, informed, and precise decisions under conditions of extreme and sustained pressure. System redundancy was a fundamental and utterly non-negotiable design philosophy ingrained into every aspect of the submarine's construction. If a critical system were to unexpectedly fail, another identical and fully functional system would seamlessly and immediately assume control, diligently ensuring that the submarine could continue its designated mission without interruption and, most crucially, ultimately, return safely to port. Even under duress, the dedicated human crew constituted the indispensable human link within this advanced technological marvel. They were the collective intelligence, skill, and experience that breathed life into the machine's intricate operations. They served as the diligent guardians, the skilled operators, and the resourceful problem solvers, meticulously ensuring that every facet of the sophisticated technology served the ultimate and complex purpose of the mission, in and day out, in the silent deep. Their lives were inextricably intertwined with the flawless operation of these technological marvels, a constant, humbling reminder of the incredible engineering prowess that allowed them to exist and function in such an extreme and unnatural environment. This reliance fostered a deep, almost symbiotic relationship between the crew and their vessel, where machine and man became one. The continuous hum of the complex systems, the subtle shifts in power distribution, and the rhythmic whirring of internal components formed a constant living soundtrack of their existence. Every light, every gauge. Chapter 12. Continuous maintenance, *maintenance, aboard the submarine was an absolutely relentless and never-ending task, an incessant cycle of rigorous inspections, meticulous repairs, and precise adjustments, all dedicated to diligently ensuring that every single system functioned with absolute perfection. This unwavering vigilance was a constant, permeating presence that extended through every hour of the day and every moment of the night, without pause or respite. Electrical wires, a dizzying labyrinth of intricate circuits, complex hydraulic pipes, vital pumps, and essential valves were painstakingly checked daily, with an almost obsessive attention to detail and a ceaseless search for any nascent sign of wear, corrosive degradation, or a potential, even minute, operational failure. Prevention was not merely a guiding principle. It was the very philosophical bedrock that meticulously guided every single maintenance action they undertook, always anticipating potential issues before they became critical. Small, seemingly insignificant leaks, no matter how minuscule their initial dimension, were immediately and precisely repaired with an utmost sense of urgency, long before they had any chance of escalating into larger, more problematic, and potentially catastrophic issues. Every single unwanted drop of salt water was unequivocally regarded as a formidable potential enemy to the structural integrity of the hull and the delicate internal systems, requiring swift action. The meticulous cleaning of all equipment was absolutely fundamental to prevent the insidious forces of corrosion and the dangerous accumulation of dirt, crime, and debris. The marine environment, with its inherent salinity and humidity, was relentlessly aggressive and unforgiving, and any form of negligence was a perilous luxury that they simply could not afford, given the extreme and unforgiving conditions of their submerged existence. All tools were organized with an almost military-grade precision, each meticulously placed in its exact designated location and kept perfectly accessible, poised and ready to be used at the precise moment it became necessary. Efficiency was the undisputed key master in their cramped and highly functional spaces, where every single second counted and optimal organization could mean the difference between success and failure in the critical repair. The comprehensive operation and repair manuals were not just stored, they were assiduously studied and consulted with an almost daily frequency, serving as an invaluable and indispensable source of knowledge and detailed guidance for swiftly resolving any complex technical problem that might unexpectedly arise in the profound depths, guaranteeing rapid and effective troubleshooting for any mechanical or electrical issue. The dedicated engineers and highly skilled technicians were, in truth, the unsung heroes of the submarine, tirelessly working behind the scenes, often in uncomfortable and inherently dangerous conditions, to meticulously keep the gargantuan vessel in perfect operational condition. Their unwavering and meticulous work was, without any question, absolutely essential for the continued survival and mission capability of the entire crew and the vessel itself. Continuous maintenance was a powerful and eloquent testament to the crew's unwavering commitment to operational excellence and paramount safety. It served as the fundamental and unwavering guarantee that the submarine would be capable of steadfastly facing the most extreme and unpredictable challenges of the vast ocean and, most crucially, ultimately returning safely to port, their duty fulfilled, their vessel intact. This relentless dedication to upkeep ensured that every nut, bolt, and wire contributed seamlessly to the vessel's overall reliability and resilience, transforming it into a self-contained fortress against the immense external pressures. It was a constant internal battle against entropy and the corrosive forces of the deep. The crew's hands-on involvement in every aspect of maintenance fostered a profound, almost intimate understanding of their vessel. They knew its groans, its hums, and its quirks, allowing them to anticipate potential issues before they escalated, effectively becoming extensions of the submarine itself. Chapter 13. The Invisible Danger. The insidious danger aboard a submarine was, more often than not, an invisible entity, a lurking threat that constantly stalked the profound depths and subtly manifested through potential failures within the vessel's incredibly complex and interconnected systems. Unwavering vigilance was their sole and most vital defense against the unknown, a perpetual state of readiness against unseen adversaries and potential internal catastrophes. The immense external pressure of the ocean was an unyielding and omnipresent threat, relentlessly exerting a colossal, crushing force upon the submarine's robust steel hull. A single minute crack, no matter how small its initial dimension, possessed the horrifying potential to signify the abrupt and catastrophic end of everything and everyone aboard in a mere matter of terrifying seconds. Without any prior warning whatsoever, the hidden presence of other submarines, unsuspecting surface ships, or, even worse, cleverly disguised naval mines, constituted a very real and constantly lurking risk. Early detection of these potential threats was unequivocally the absolute key to successful evasion and ultimately to the unwavering survival of the entire crew and the critical mission itself, demanding constant acute awareness. Mechanical failures of critical components, sudden outbreaks of fires within confined compartments, insidious radiation leaks, or the accidental release of toxic gases inside the sealed environment were terrifying nightmare scenarios that demanded immediate and decisive action. These situations required rigorous and continuous training to be swiftly mitigated and effectively controlled, thereby preventing larger, irreversible catastrophes. The very element of water, paradoxically, despite being vital for the submarines' propulsion and buoyancy control, also represented a significant and inherent threat. The uncontrolled ingress of water into any compartment could swiftly and irrevocably compromise the vessel's delicate flotation and its crucial stability, ultimately leading to an imminent and catastrophic sinking, a constant fear lurking in the minds of the crew. The pervasive isolation and the relentless accumulation of mental stress also posed an invisible, yet equally potent form of danger. Prolonged fatigue and heightened anxiety could subtly lead to critical errors in judgment, potentially and gravely compromising the absolute safety of the mission and the overall well-being of every single crew member aboard, eroding their cognitive sharpness over time. The ever-present threat of enemy attack was a constant, though sometimes distant, reality in their operational environment. The entire crew lived in a perpetual state of heightened readiness, acutely aware that, at any given moment, they could be suddenly called to immediate and decisive action to defend their vessel and their lives against an unseen, hostile force. Successfully dealing with these omnipresent, invisible dangers demanded a precise combination of rigorous training, the flawless utilization of advanced technology, and, most crucially, an unshakable, calm, and rational mind capable of making swift and accurate decisions under the most extreme and unimaginable levels of pressure. Every unexplained tremor, every subtle shift in the vessel's hum, every faint, unidentifiable sound triggered an immediate internal assessment of potential threats. It was a constant, silent battle against the unseen, where the crew's senses were their primary line of defense. This pervasive, yet unseen danger forged a profound sense of shared vulnerability and heightened reliance on each other's expertise and unwavering vigilance. They understood that their lives depended on anticipating the undetectable, skill honed through countless hours of preparation and the inherent risks of their unique environment. Chapter 14. Limited entertainment aboard the submarine was inherently limited in its scope and options, but, paradoxically, it was profoundly valued and cherished by every crew member. It served as a vital and much-needed escape valve for the accumulated stress and the pervasive monotony of their submerged existence, providing a crucial psychological break. Every rare opportunity for leisure, however brief or simple, was eagerly seized and thoroughly enjoyed to its absolute fullest potential. a precious commodity. Movies and pre-recorded TV series were often watched on small, portable projectors or on individual screens within their cramped bunks, providing a brief yet essential dive into distant worlds and a much-needed temporary escape from the stark reality of their continuous confinement within the steel walls of the vessel. These visual escapes transported their minds away from the immediate, demanding environment. Books of all genres, from thrilling fiction to complex nonfiction, were a profound refuge for many crew members, allowing their minds to travel freely and expansively far beyond the physical steel walls that physically contained them. Reading was a powerful way to diligently keep their minds actively engaged, stimulate their vital imagination, and to provide a comforting semblance of normalcy and intellectual freedom. Classic board games and various card games were consistently popular activities, actively promoting healthy interaction and fostering a friendly, yet spirited, competition among the crew members during their limited downtime. These informal gaming sessions were cherished moments of lightness, easygoing camaraderie, and much-needed social connection. Breaking the routine. Music, often discreetly shared through individual headphones to meticulously respect the pervasive, strategic silence, was a potent form of personal expression and a remarkably effective means of stress relief. Each crew member cultivated their own unique and personalized soundtrack for navigating the silent depths, an auditory sanctuary that provided comfort and emotional release, engaging conversations on a wide array of topics, from personal anecdotes to philosophical debates and often lighthearted discussions, filled their scarce free time, providing intellectual stimulation and social bonding. The open exchange of ideas and personal experiences significantly enriched the onboard environment and powerfully strengthened the bonds among the crew members, deepening their mutual understanding. Physical exercises, even within the surprisingly cramped and restrictive spaces available, were actively encouraged and diligently performed to maintain both the vital physical health and, crucially, the mental well-being of the crew. Simple routines like push-ups, sit-ups, stretching helped effectively alleviate accumulated physical tension and mental stress, keeping them in peak condition. Entertainment, no matter how simple or modest its form, was undeniably essential for consistently maintaining the crew's high morale and preserving their collective sound of mind in such an extraordinarily challenging and isolated environment. It served as a constant and welcome reminder that, even in the profound, dark depths, life could still offer precious moments of genuine joy, vital leisure, and meaningful human connection. Chapter 15. Secret Missions, the very essence of a submarine's missions was intrinsically shrouded in a veil of deep secrecy, their intricate operations highly classified, and their ultimate strategic purposes often deliberately unknown even to the majority of the crew aboard. Discretion wasn't merely a protocol to be followed. It was the unyielding fundamental pillar that meticulously guaranteed the absolute safety and the flawless success of their clandestine undertakings. All orders, when they finally arrived, invariably originated from higher echelons, meticulously encrypted and transmitted with the utmost and highest levels of security to prevent any interception. The trust placed implicitly within the chain of command was absolute and unwavering, and questions regarding the detailed objectives of the mission were remarkably few and far between. An unspoken pact of silence and loyalty. Navigation was precisely conducted along meticulously predetermined and highly classified routes, frequently traversing remote, inhospitable, and often highly sensitive areas of the vast ocean. The critical ability to operate completely undetected by any opposing force was the paramount and undisputed key to the ultimate success of every single mission. Their very invisibility being their most potent weapon, the meticulous collection of sensitive information was a crucial and predominant component of many of their classified missions. This involved utilizing advanced tech equipment and sophisticated sensors to vigilantly monitor enemy activities, or to gather vital and detailed data about the complex marine environment in strategically important zones, often unseen and unheard. Special forces insertion and extraction operations, inherently high risk and demanding, were executed with extreme caution and unparalleled precision, always under the cloak of complete darkness and absolute silence. These highly specialized missions demanded flawless coordination and impeccable execution to ensure the absolute safety and successful retrieval of the commandos involved. The strategic patrolling of key maritime areas, often acting as a silent, invisible deterrent against potential adversaries, was a vital and indispensable part of national security. The submarine functioned as a hidden, relentless sentinel in the profound depths, its mere unseen presence serving as a veiled yet powerful warning to potential threats without ever being openly revealed. The return from a successfully completed mission was a moment of immense relief and profound, genuine pride for the entire crew, a quiet acknowledgement of duty meticulously performed. However, the detailed stories and specifics of these missions remained shrouded in strict secrecy, shared only among those who had directly and intimately participated in the operation's execution. A silent bond. Secret missions were, in their purest essence, the very pulsating heart of submarine life, the ultimate reason for all the rigorous training, the sacrifices made, and the entire existence of the formidable vessel itself. They were the tangible proof of the submarine's unparalleled ability to operate effectively within the shadows, silently shaping the destiny of the world without ever being truly seen. Asterisk. Chapter 16. Sleep in the depths. Sleep aboard a submarine was an undeniable physiological necessity, yet, paradoxically, it was often a luxury that proved incredibly difficult to attain consistently and fully. The body's natural circadian rhythm was severely and fundamentally disturbed by the absolute absence of natural light and by the constant, pervasive vibration and rhythmic operational sounds emanating from the vessel's intricate machinery, making deep rest elusive. The cramped bunks, often stacked 3 high in minuscule, multifunctional compartments, offered very little comfort and virtually no personal space for movement or stretching. Each crew member's body had to adapt to an entirely new type of confinement. Even during those brief and precious periods of designated rest and repose, learning to find stillness amidst the constant hum of the vessel, the incessant sounds of the submarine, the low, monotonous hum of the engines, occasional creaking and groaning of the metal hull under immense pressure, and the rhythmic footsteps of patrolling crew members formed a peculiar and constant auditory backdrop that accompanied every moment of their sleep. This made absolute silence a rare and almost mythical commodity. The persistent and pervasive lack of privacy made it incredibly difficult for individuals to fully relax and completely unwind into a deep, restorative sleep. Sleep was perceived as a state of heightened vulnerability, and the mind was almost perpetually in a state of subtle alert, unconsciously monitoring the surrounding environment, even during what should have been genuinely restful periods, preventing complete surrender to slumber. The demanding and often irregular work shifts meant that sleep was frequently fragmented, often abruptly interrupted by the blare of alarm signals or urgent calls to duty that demanded immediate attention. The quality of their rest was a continuous and persistent challenge, requiring the crew to develop unique strategies to optimize their limited moments of repose and maximize recovery. However brief, many crew members meticulously developed their own highly personal techniques for effectively falling asleep under these uniquely challenging conditions. These varied widely, ranging from disciplined practices of mindful breathing and quiet meditation to the consistent use of specialized earplugs to block out internal noises. Each individual diligently sought and cultivated their own private refuge from the pervasive noise and constant agitation inherent in life aboard, dreams when they managed to manifest themselves amidst these conditions were frequently remarkably vivid and, at times, disturbingly unsettling. They often served as a raw and unfiltered manifestation of the subconscious mind, tirelessly attempting to process and somehow make coherent sense of the profoundly unusual and intensely demanding environment, along with the accumulated tensions and complexities of their confined existence. Despite all the formidable challenges imposed upon them, sleep was undeniably vital for maintaining optimal cognitive performance, peak physical endurance, and the overall morale of the entire crew. It was the only time they could truly disconnect from the relentless demands of the mission and fully recharge their depleted energies for the next arduous cycle of work and unwavering vigilance, a necessary reset for mind and body. Chapter 17. The rhythm of the sea. The submarine didn't merely navigate. It gracefully moved in an intrinsic dance with the pulsing, omnipresent rhythm of the sea, a slow, hypnotic cadence that gently cradled the massive vessel on its silent and meticulously furtive journey deep underwater. The very essence of life aboard the submarine was an undeniable reflection of this profound natural cadence of the ocean. A perpetual ebb and flow, the colossal surface waves, although completely invisible and utterly imperceptible from their vantage point deep within the dark depths, still subtly exerted their immense influence, causing a slight yet constant sway and gentle, rolling motion that could be distinctly felt throughout the entire robust hull of the submarine. It was a tangible, physical reminder of the vastness and constant movement of the world existing far above them. The powerful ocean currents were a constant, dynamic factor that had to be meticulously considered and accounted for in their complex navigation. These currents could, with often unpredictable force, either swiftly accelerate or noticeably retard the submarine's precise progress, relentlessly demanding continuous adjustments and precise compensations from the dedicated navigation team to meticulously maintain their intended course and strict mission timeline. The water temperature surrounding the hull varied significantly and predictably with changes in depth, and the submarine's sensitive systems acutely registered these thermal shifts. In response, the vessel meticulously adapted its ballast systems and trim mechanisms to maintain perfect stability and optimal balance within the water column, a delicate equilibrium crucial for silent operation and energy efficiency in the varied thermal layers. The subtle movements of the tides also had a distinct, albeit generally smaller, impact, particularly on coastal navigation and operations in shallower waters. The absolute precision of their detailed bathymetric maps and advanced sonar sensors was critically crucial to meticulously avoid any potential shallow areas, submerged obstacles, or unforeseen hazards, diligently ensuring the continuous and unwavering safety of the vessel and its crew. The ocean was far more than just a vast body of water. It was a vibrant, living, and pulsating ecosystem. And the submarine operated as a silent, respectful intruder within its immense domain. The rich and diverse marine life ranging from small, darting schools of fish to majestic, colossal whales often passed by unnoticed by most. But it was a constant, unseen, and vibrant presence surrounding them, a world teeming with life outside their steel shell. The profound rhythm of the sea served as a powerful and constant reminder of the ocean's immeasurable vastness, its inherent unpredictability, and its avalanche of power. This natural force stood in stark contrast to the small, isolated island of steel that meticulously sheltered and protected them, instilling a deep sense of humility and a profound, unwavering respect for the elemental forces that continuously surrounded them, a true sense of scale. And so, the formidable submarine relentlessly continued its intricate journey, gracefully cradled by the eternal and mysterious rhythm of the ocean. It was a silent, complex, and delicate dance between the cutting-edge technology and brilliant engineering of humankind and the indomitable primordial forces of the deep, a peculiar and inherently dangerous coexistence that defined their every moment. This constant, subtle motion of the sea became a pervasive, background rhythm to their entire existence. A gentle yet persistent reminder of the immense forces at play just beyond their protective hull. Their internal clocks, once governed by sunlight, now synchronized with the deeper, more ancient tempo of the ocean. The crew learned to anticipate these subtle shifts, and their bodies adjusting instinctively to the ebb and flow of the ocean's hidden currents, making them feel more intimately connected to their watery world than they could ever be to the land they protected. It was a profound bond. Chapter 18. Restricted communication. Communication with the world outside the steel hull was severely and fundamentally restricted aboard a submarine, constituting one of the most significant and keenly felt privations of submerged life. The profound isolation they endured was almost absolute, a deliberately self-imposed condition and a vital sacrifice deemed absolutely necessary to meticulously ensure operational security and the strict discretion of their sensitive mission. Essential messages were painstakingly sent and received exclusively through specialized low-frequency radio systems or via advanced satellite links, but only during very specific, predetermined, and rigorously secure moments to meticulously avoid any potential detection by adversaries. The encryption used was extremely rigorous and complex, diligently guaranteeing the paramount protection and absolute confidentiality of all information transmitted. Letters from cherished loved ones, purely anticipated and deeply treasured, were regrettably only received during designated port calls, often weeks or months apart, and the ability to respond promptly was frustratingly extremely limited. The agonizing wait for news from home was a true and relentless test of their individual patience and collective emotional resilience. For many of the confined crew members, any news from the outside world was carefully filtered, and relayed with extreme caution by the chain of command, a deliberate measure to meticulously avoid the potential for misinformation or an overwhelming emotional overload within an environment already inherently stressful and psychologically demanding. Information in this context was a precisely controlled and strategically managed resource. Internal communication, in stark contrast, was absolutely vital and flowed almost continuously. Intercoms and sophisticated public address systems diligently ensured that every single member of the crew was constantly and instantly aware of ongoing operations, critical system statuses, and any potential emergency situations that might suddenly arise. Clarity and immediate responsiveness were paramount for all internal transmissions. Specific military codes and specialized jargon formed the common and precise language spoken aboard, representing a highly efficient and rapid form of communication among the crew. The instant and accurate mutual understanding of these technical terminologies was absolutely essential for the successful execution of complex tasks and for rapid coordination during critical and high-stakes moments, leaving no room for ambiguity. Communication, in its very essence, served as an incredibly thin, precarious thread that precariously connected them to the distant world outside, a constant and poignant reminder of all that they had temporarily left behind on land. It was perceived as a welcome blessing, yet simultaneously, it remained a persistent source of underlying anxiety and deep-seated longing for loved ones, fluctuating between comfort and emotional pain. The stringent restriction on communication was an undeniable and non-negotiable price to pay for the vessel's crucial stealth capability and for the absolute operational security inherent in their secret mission. It was a profound sacrifice that every single crew member made day after day, in unwavering adherence to a greater purpose, their sworn duty to their nation, accepting the profound isolation as an integral part of their commitment. This enforced communication blackout heightened their reliance on each other for social interaction, further deepening the bonds within the submarine's tight-knit community. They found solace in shared whispers and knowing glances, understanding unspoken needs. Each incoming message, no matter how brief or delayed, is eagerly anticipated and often shared, transforming a simple email into a powerful lifeline to the lives they were protecting, reinforcing their resolve for the silent, arduous journey ahead. Chapter 19. The importance of the team. The team was far more than just a collection of individuals. It was the indispensable, vibrant, vital gear that made the submarine function with seamless precision. A synergistic union of people possessing distinct skills and specialized responsibilities, yet all driven by a single, overriding, and unquestionable common objective. Collaboration and absolute interdependency were the fundamental, indispensable cornerstones of their very existence and continued survival. Every single member of the crew, ranging from the most senior and experienced officer to the youngest and newest sailor, possessed a truly crucial role to meticulously play. And the potential failure of even one could catastrophically compromise the safety and success of all. No one was deemed dispensable, and the contribution of each individual was profoundly valued and recognized as an indispensable part of the larger, cohesive whole. Trust formed the unshakable bedrock of the team, a profound and unwavering mutual belief in each other's inherent capabilities, professional competence, and personal integrity. This deep-seated trust was meticulously forged in the crucible of difficult missions, through moments of shared and intense danger, and by the collective overcoming of numerous formidable challenges, solidifying their bonds into something truly unbreakable. Open and honest communication was not merely encouraged, it was actively practiced and considered paramount. This transparent dialogue allowed any emerging problems and concerns to be discussed openly and resolved swiftly, long before they had any chance of escalating into full-blown, mission-critical crises. Clear and direct dialogue was the absolute keymaster to maintaining their crucial cohesion and operational harmony. Respect was inherently mutual and deeply ingrained, existing independently of formal rank or specific function within the vessel's strict hierarchy. Each individual universally recognized and deeply appreciated the immense importance of the other's work and specialized contributions, diligently fostering an environment of unwavering support and vital collaboration where every voice was heard, and valued the remarkable and unique ability to solve complex problems. Together was a profound and distinctive strength of their collective team, faced with unexpected challenges and intricate dilemmas. The combined unity of diverse minds and complementary skills invariably led to highly creative and effective solutions, often conceived and implemented under immense pressure and time constraints. Victories, whether large and strategically significant or small and seemingly minor in daily operations, were always celebrated together, reinforcing the profound sense of collective accomplishment and shared pride. Similarly, difficulties and setbacks were faced resolutely, side by side, as a unified, unbreakable front. The ultimate success of the team was the success of each individual, and the unfortunate failure of one was deeply felt and profoundly mourned by all. The undeniable importance of the team was a constant and powerful reminder that, in the unforgiving and perilous depths of the ocean, survival itself depended entirely upon the unwavering unity and the complete and total dedication of every single person who was confined aboard the submarine. It was a true testament to the remarkable power of human interdependency and collective spirit, a lifeline in the silent deep. This collective responsibility fostered a deeply interwoven network of support where each person's well-being was inextricably linked to the well-being of the entire crew. They moved as one, thought as one, and ultimately survived as one. Their lives depended on seamless cooperation, transforming individual expertise into a formidable collective strength, allowing them to overcome challenges that no single person could ever face alone. A profound synergy of human will and shared purpose Chapter 20. Dreams and Reality. Dreams aboard a submarine were far more than simple nocturnal manifestations. They were a precious and vital escape valve from the harsh, unrelenting reality of confinement, opening a treasured window to a vividly remembered world of open skies, expansive spaces, and heartwarming, longed-for reunions with cherished, loved ones who patiently waited on the surface above. The human mind, miraculously free from the rigid constraints of physical space imposed by the submarine's steel hull, could wander without limit through lush, imaginary landscapes, vividly relive happy memories deeply embedded in their consciousness, or meticulously construct future scenarios, overflowing with the promise of true freedom and a happiness that seemed almost unattainable in their present confined existence. Reality, on the other hand, was an unyielding, constant, key, and inescapable presence. The colossal, crushing pressure of the ocean relentlessly pressing against the hull, the rhythmic, mechanical hum of the engines, the pervasive and a distinct smell of metal, oil, and human sweat, and the uninterrupted, sometimes overwhelming, presence of other human beings in incredibly tiny, shared living spaces, a constant sensory input, the stark and often painful contrast between the boundless freedom of their dreams and the harsh, constrained reality of their physical confinement was frequently striking, generating a profound and almost visceral longing for all that was physically distant and utterly inaccessible in the dark, silent depths. This psychological dissonance was a constant, emotional challenge they bravely faced. Nightmares were also an intrinsic and often disturbing part of their shared experience, serving as raw, unfiltered reflections of the deepest fears and most pervasive anxieties inherent in living in such a high-risk, high-stress, and isolated environment. The subconscious mind worked tirelessly to process the invisible dangers and the accumulated psychological tensions, so often manifesting them in disturbing nocturnal visions. The absolutely crucial ability to clearly discern and separate dreams from reality was paramount for meticulously maintaining their mental sanity and clarity. It was imperative to definitively recognize what was genuinely real and what was merely the product of a restless imagination, preventing the delicate line between the two from becoming dangerously blurred in the profound isolation. Many crew members consciously utilized their dreams as a powerful and unwavering source of hope, constant and comforting reminder that the physical confinement they endured was merely temporary, and that there would eventually come a glorious day when they would definitively return to the bright sunlight, the open air, and the absolute freedom of the outside world. A precious promise that sustained their spirits through the darkest times. Thus, dreams and reality coexisted in a delicate, often tense, balance within the submarine, a complex and intricate interplay between what was tangible and what profoundly could be. This profound duality kept the human mind in a perpetual state of relentless adaptation and unwavering resilience, serving as a powerful testament to the remarkable strength of the human spirit under the most extreme and challenging conditions imaginable. The vividness of their dreams often served as a potent contrast to the mundane and repetitive nature of their waking hours, highlighting the unique psychological impact of their isolated existence. These internal journeys became essential coping mechanisms, providing mental escape. These deeply personal inner landscapes provided a sanctuary, allowing the crew to maintain a vital connection to the world beyond their steel shell, even if only in their sleeping minds. It was a testament to the mind's ability to seek solace and freedom in the most restrictive environments. Chapter 21. Homesickness. Homesickness was a persistent, quiet ache, subtle yet pervasive sorrow that accompanied every crew member throughout their long and solitary underwater journey. It was an undeniable part of the personal cost of service, a profound personal sacrifice made in the solemn name of a greater purpose, a commitment beyond self. The vivid memories of family gatherings, of close friends, of the familiar, comforting sense of home, and the beloved sounds of their domestic environments were frequently evoked with poignant clarity. These recollections brought a bittersweet mixture of profound comfort and a deep, underlying melancholy, while cherished photographs were treated as invaluable treasures, guarded with the utmost care in their cramped personal spaces. Significant commemorative dates, such as the birthdays of loved ones, the festive joy of Christmas, or the symbolic start of a new year, were periods that proved exceptionally difficult for the crew. The physical absence of their beloved family members and friends was keenly felt with an overwhelming intensity, and the vast distance separating them seemed, in those moments, utterly insurmountable and cruelly isolating. The few and rare opportunities for any kind of communication, such as brief, heavily encrypted emails or quick, precisely timed radio calls, were awaited with an almost palpable anxiety and eagerness. Each message received was akin to a vital breath of fresh air from the distant outside world, a fragile lifeline of connection to the life they had temporarily left behind on land. A pervasive concern for the well-being of their families was a constant and omnipresent thought, especially during times of global uncertainty or unsettling news from the surface. The immense geographical distance tragically prevented any possibility of providing immediate help or support, generating a deep-seated and uncomfortable sense of profound helplessness within each crew member. To effectively combat this overwhelming sensation of homesickness, the tripulants consciously and actively supported each other, openly sharing their personal stories and cherished memories. This profound exchange created a strong and comforting sense of family and belonging within the submarine itself. A surrogate community, united by their shared and isolated existence, the unwavering hope of returning to home port was the most powerful, motivating force that kept them steadfast and resilient in the face of relentless adversities. With each passing day of their deployment, they understood they were one crucial step closer to the highly anticipated reunion, to a warm, comforting embrace, and to the eventual return to the cherished normalcy of their familiar routines. On land, homesickness was, in its deepest essence, an eloquent and powerful testament to the profound love and attachment they harbored for the world and the lives they had temporarily, yet completely, left behind. It was an intrinsic and compelling driving force that relentlessly propelled them to fulfill their mission with unwavering excellence and, ultimately, to return safely to their loved ones. This quiet ache was a shared burden, fostering empathy and understanding among the crew as they collectively navigated their personal, emotional landscapes beneath the waves. They found solace in the unspoken solidarity of their comrades, knowing they were not alone in their longing. It was a constant reminder of the profound personal cost of their dedication, fueling their resolve to successfully complete their arduous duties and make their eventual return a cherished reality, transforming their internal longing into a powerful external drive. Chapter 22. Unlikely. Festivities aboard a submarine were, by their very nature, truly unlikely events, given the inherent constraints of confinement, but, paradoxically, they were profoundly valued and celebrated by everyone. These rare occasions meticulously transformed mere moments of celebration into incredibly precious opportunities to significantly elevate the morale of the entire crew and to provide much-needed relief from the pervasive daily tension. Individual birthdays were meticulously observed and celebrated, often with creatively improvised cakes baked in the galley and enthusiastically, sometimes off-key sung renditions of Happy Birthday. Each crew member received a special, heartfelt attention, a warm and personal reminder that they were a cherished and integral part of the larger submarine family. It's a personal touch that alleviated the usual impersonality of military life. Significant holidays, such as the festive joy of Christmas or the hopeful promise of a new year, were carefully marked by small, inventive decorations fashioned from available materials and by specially prepared meals, lovingly crafted by the dedicated galley. Team creativity was the absolute key to successfully bringing a small, vital piece of the joy and festive spirit from the outside world into the otherwise dark and confined depths of their submersible home. Victories achieved in high-stakes missions, or the profoundly reassuring safe return from particularly dangerous and demanding operations, were always a legitimate cause for small, spontaneous, and impromptu celebrations. The entire crew would eagerly gather during these moments to collectively share the palpable sense of relief and the deep, abiding pride in their shared collective success and the successful overcoming of the inherent dangers. Camaraderie was, without a shadow of a doubt, the main and most essential ingredient of all the festivities celebrated aboard. The sounds of genuine laughter, the sharing of humorous inside jokes, and engaging, light-hearted conversations permeated the confined air, curiously creating an atmosphere of lightness and authentic joy that stood in stark contrast to the usual seriousness and intense focus required by their daily duties and responsibilities. Toasts, though necessarily made with non-alcoholic beverages due to strict regulations, were imbued with the very same spirit and genuine intention. They served as a heartfelt recognition of the collective effort and the unyielding unity that consistently kept them steadfast and resilient in such an inherently demanding and isolated operational environment. A shared acknowledgement of their bond. These precious moments of decompression and lightheartedness were absolutely essential for effectively alleviating the accumulated stress and the constant, underlying tension inherent in their unique life aboard. They functioned as vital escape valves, allowing the crew to briefly unwind, relax, and thoroughly recharge their physical and mental energies, preparing them for the challenges ahead. The very existence of these unlikely festivities served as an eloquent and powerful testament to the remarkable human resilience and the innate, profound capacity to discover profound joy, unwavering hope, and deep human connection, even amidst the most challenging, confined, and, at times, claustrophobic circumstances imaginable, truly proving the strength of the indomitable human spirit against adversity. These small, shared celebrations underscored the importance of their internal community, creating bright, memorable spots within the relentless, often monotonous routine of their submerged existence. They learned to find celebration in the simplest gestures. They served as powerful reminders that despite the intense demands of their duty, moments of genuine happiness, human connection, and collective cheer were still possible, fostering a deep and abiding sense of belonging that transcended the steel walls. Chapter 23. Fear and Courage. Fear was an ever-present, silent companion in the profound depths, a chilling shadow that constantly stalked every strange noise, every unsettling indication of an equipment malfunction, and every moment of suffocating uncertainty. Yet, courage was not the absence of this pervasive fear. It was, in its truest form, the unwavering and resolute response, the internal fortitude to relentlessly push forward and act decisively despite its daunting presence. The profound fear of the unknown was a palpable and unsettling reality for every crew member. Its persistent uncertainty of what the vast, dark, and utterly unpredictable ocean might reveal or unleash with each passing moment. The immense, lightless, and impenetrable vastness of the abyss served as a constant, humbling reminder of human insignificance when pitted against such formidable and elemental forces of nature. The deep-seated fear of failure, of making a single, critical mistake that possessed the potential to catastrophically compromise the lives of everyone aboard, was an overwhelming and palpable weight resting heavily upon the shoulders of each and every crew member. The burden of responsibility was colossal, and the relentless pressure for absolute perfection was an ever-present constant, demanding total focus on every task. Courage manifested itself not in the absence of apprehension or anxiety, but rather in the unwavering ability to act with precision, decisiveness, and unwavering determination in spite of the pervasive fear. It was the rigid discipline to meticulously follow established procedures, to place unconditional trust in their exhaustive training, and, above all else, to place unwavering reliance on the collective strength and expertise of the team serving diligently by their side. In critical emergency situations, fear did not lead to paralysis. Instead, it was swiftly and efficiently transformed into pure adrenaline and an incredibly sharp, laser-like focus. Their reactions became almost instinctual and automatic, meticulously guided by years of intensive training and by their accumulated experience in high-pressure scenarios, thereby ensuring rapid, precise, and life-saving responses to dire circumstances. The unwavering mutual support exchanged between the crew members was an inestimable and profound source of courage. Witnessing the unyielding determination in the eyes of their colleagues and observing their readiness to face imminent danger profoundly inspired perseverance and fortified the deep-seated belief that, united as one, they would successfully overcome any challenge, no matter how daunting or terrifying it might initially appear. The calm, collected, and decisive leadership displayed by the officers served as a bright, guiding beacon of courage amidst the all-encompassing darkness and chaos. They meticulously transmitted a profound sense of confidence and unwavering control, steadfastly guiding the entire crew with resolute firmness through the most inherently difficult, perilous, and psychologically taxing moments. Maintaining order and purpose, fear and courage were, in their deepest essence, two inextricably linked faces of the very same coin, eternally inseparable in the unique and demanding life of a submarine. One relentlessly tested the deepest psychological and physical limits of human endurance, while the other consistently propelled them to unequivocally surpass those very limits, thereby transforming every single mission into a constant and rigorous test of their extraordinary human resilience. Chapter 24. The Exercise Routine, the Diligent. Exercise routine was an absolutely essential and non-negotiable component for the continuous maintenance of both the physical health and, crucially, the mental well-being of the entire crew. It served as a vital and much-needed counterbalance to the prolonged confinement and the inherent lack of significant movement within their remarkably cramped and spatially restricted living and working quarters aboard the submarine. Small, designated areas, often repurposed corridors or temporarily cleared cargo compartments, were specifically set aside for the disciplined practice of push-ups, sit-ups, stretching, and various other forms of bodyweight exercises. Creativity was absolutely fundamental in maximizing the efficient and effective utilization of the severely limited space available, diligently ensuring the efficacy and consistency of their physical training. Compact ergometers, and specially designed space-saving treadmills were meticulously installed in designated areas, thoughtfully allowing crew members to consistently maintain their vital cardiovascular fitness and overall physical endurance. These attributes were deemed absolutely crucial for the successful execution of their demanding tasks within an environment characterized by high stress and continuous physical requirements. Consistency was unequivocally the absolute key to the sustained effectiveness of their exercise program. Meticulously scheduled times designated for the practice of individual workouts or for organized sessions in small groups. Discipline was paramount for maintaining this routine, even when pervasive fatigue and the omnipresent monotony threatened to undermine their motivation. Ensuring continuous physical readiness, healthy and friendly competition was frequently encouraged and actively fostered among the crew members, often taking the form of various fitness challenges that stimulated both active engagement and a strong drive for personal improvement. This not only significantly enhanced their physical preparedness, but also notably boosted the collective morale and strengthened the internal cohesion of the entire group. Adding an element of fun, exercise itself transcended the mere goal of physical health maintenance. It profoundly functioned as a powerful and indispensable valve of escape for the accumulated stress and underlying mental tension. It was a remarkably effective method to release built-up adrenaline and the pervasive anxiety inherent in their confined existence. It's providing a crucial psychological outlet for pent-up energy. The highly qualified onboard medical team diligently provided specialized guidance and individualized supervision for all exercise activities, meticulously ensuring that workouts were performed both safely and effectively, thereby minimizing the inherent risk of injuries within an environment where complex medical intervention was inherently limited by the very nature of their submerged mission. The diligent exercise routine served as a constant and practical reminder of the undeniable importance of meticulously taking care of one's body, even under the most exceptionally challenging and inhospitable conditions imaginable. It diligently ensured that the crew remained consistently in their peak physical and mental state, fully prepared for the relentless and demanding requirements of their submarine mission. Chapter 25. The Officer's Life. The life of an officer aboard a submarine was an intricate and demanding blend of decisive leadership, acute, immense, and pervasive responsibility, and a constant, unwavering state of prompt-to-do readiness and acute alertness. The inherent authority they wielded was inextricably tied to the heavy and often daunting weight of the final decision, a burden that could profoundly impact the lives of every soul aboard. The training undergone by the officers was rigorously intense, continuous, and exhaustively comprehensive, meticulously preparing them for the myriad complexities of precise navigation, advanced combat tactics, and critical crisis management within an extreme, unpredictable, and unforgiving environment where there was absolutely no margin for error or hesitation in judgment. Decision-making was, without a doubt, the most critical and inherently stressful component of their extensive duties. In mere seconds, often with incomplete information, they had to swiftly assess highly complex situations, meticulously analyze vast streams of data, and issue precise, unambiguous orders that could unequivocally determine the ultimate success or failure of an entire mission. A monumental responsibility. Effective communication with the crew was absolutely essential and paramount. Officers were required to transmit orders not only with pristine clarity and conciseness, but also, simultaneously, to consistently maintain high morale and unwavering trust among the team, even during the most intensely tense and uncertain moments, providing a steady hand, setting a compelling personal example, was universally recognized as the most powerful and authentic form of leadership within the confined and interdependent submarine environment. Officers tirelessly worked side by side with the crew, demonstrating through their every action an unwavering dedication, remarkable resilience, and an unyielding commitment to the meticulous fulfillment of the mission's critical objectives. The immense responsibility for the paramount safety and the overall well-being of every single crew member was a constant, heavy, and profound burden that weighed heavily upon their shoulders. Every life aboard the submarine was considered an invaluable treasure, placed meticulously under their vigilant guard, and the acute awareness of this responsibility shaped every single action and decision they made. Moments of solitude and personal reflection were regrettably few and far between, but they were absolutely crucial for introspection, deep contemplation, and strategic planning. An officer's mind was almost perpetually in a state of heightened alert, even during brief periods of rest, constantly evaluating potential scenarios and proactively anticipating future challenges. The life of an officer in a submarine was, therefore, a profound calling to absolute professional excellence, an unwavering and deep commitment to exemplary leadership and selfless service. It was an existence that profoundly shaped the very destiny of the submarine and its dedicated crew in the mysterious, dangerous, and isolated depths of the vast ocean. A life of profound purpose. Chapter 26. The colors of the submarine. The colors seen aboard a submarine were remarkably few, inherently limited, and strictly functional. presenting a stark and deliberate contrast to the vast and vibrantly diverse palette of colors found in the outside world. The austere gray of the metallic structure, the utilitarian green of various control panels, and the cool, artificial glow of the internal lights constituted the primary visual palette that definitively defined their immediate environment, reflecting its purpose. The predominant gray hue of the internal hull was a constant and powerful visual reminder of the submarine's inherent robustness and its immense, unyielding resilience, meticulously constructed to withstand unimaginable external pressures from the deep. It was, symbolically, the color of unwavering strength and impenetrable protection against the colossal, crushing force of the ocean. A vital barrier between life and certain demise. The complex array of control panels with their hundreds of flashing indicator lights in critical hues of alert red, safe green, and cautionary amber collectively created a subtle, rhythmic visual dance of lights that clearly and instantly indicated the precise operational status of all critical systems. Each individual color had a very specific, unambiguous, and profoundly critical meaning, transmitting vital information at a mere glance, without words. The crew's uniforms, designed for practicality and durability, were typically in sober shades of deep navy blue and functional gray, faithfully reflecting the innate sobriety and strict discipline inherent to the military environment. They were designed to be both highly practical and incredibly resilient, meticulously crafted to endure the constant wear and tear of life aboard, and to provide necessary comfort in the extremely cramped spaces. The artificial light that continuously bathed the interior compartments with its predominantly yellowish or stark white tone created a peculiar and unwavering atmosphere, entirely devoid of the rich nuances, intricate hues, and dynamic variations of natural sunlight. Consequently, shadows were sharper and more starkly defined, subtly altering their perception of depth and form within the enclosed space. Constant visual adjustment for their eyes. In a select few explicitly permitted compartments, small, personal, works of art, or cherished colorful photographs of loved ones and vibrant landscapes were carefully affixed to the bulkheads. These small, poignant additions brought a much-needed touch of humanity and a rare, simple beauty to the otherwise industrial and purely functional environment, serving as vital visual respites and mental anchors to the world above. The rare sight of the colors of the outside world, even if glimpsed briefly on a small video monitor screen or through a faded photograph, was invariably a moment of profound delight and deep yearning. It served as a vivid and potent reminder of the vast beauty and diversity that patiently awaited their eventual return to the surface. A precious visual promise of freedom and life beyond the steel. The colors of the submarine were, in their profound essence, a direct and honest reflection of its core and complex function. Absolute precision, paramount and unwavering safety, and complete discretion. They were the defining colors of submerged life, a peculiar, intensely functional, and highly specialized universe where every single hue, no matter how subtle, had a precise and undeniable purpose. Chapter 27. The environmental pressure. The relentless pressure of the environment was an unyielding and omnipresent force, constant, monumental weight that exerted its brutal and immense influence both upon the submarine's formidable steel hull and, profoundly, upon the very minds and bodies of its resilient occupants, subjecting them to a continuous and rigorous test of endurance, thousands of meters deep beneath the surface. The immense mass of ocean water exerted an utterly crushing force upon every single square inch of the submarine's meticulously reinforced steel hull. Every part of the formidable vessel bore tons of weight, relentlessly demanding perfect engineering and an impeccable, flawless construction to prevent an instantaneous and catastrophic structural collapse, a constant, unseen threat. The distinct and eerie sound of the hull groaning and creaking under the unimaginable, pervasive pressure was a constant and disturbing auditory backdrop to their lives. It served as a vivid and visceral reminder of the inherent fragility of their mighty vessel within its inherently hostile environment. A sound that invariably inspired both a profound respect and a deep, reverent sense of awe for the overwhelming power of nature. The internal atmospheric pressure within the submarine's sealed compartments was meticulously controlled and scrupulously maintained at a constant, precise level to diligently guarantee the comfort and, above all, the paramount safety of the crew. Any abrupt or uncontrolled alteration in this delicate pressure balance could have immediate, severe, and potentially life-threatening consequences for human health. The human mind itself also acutely felt the pervasive pressure, the insidious claustrophobia of prolonged confinement, the absolute absence of external visual horizons, and the continuous requirement for constant and exhausted vigilance, all of which were critically crucial for their continued survival within such an incredibly restricted and demanding space. A psychological weight that never truly lifted. The accumulated stress, resulting directly from the relentless environmental pressure, was expertly managed and mitigated through the strict adherence to rigid routines. It's an unshakable discipline, and the crucial, unwavering, mutual support provided by the entire crew. Their collective mental resilience was considered as vitally important and as utterly indispensable as the sheer physical strength of the hull's steel, forming a dual pillar of their existence, with each controlled dive into the abyssal depths and every precise ascent back towards the surface. The submarine was subjected to relentless and extreme pressure tests, an intricate and often perilous dance between cutting-edge human engineering and the indomitable primal forces of nature. It was a continuous, demanding cycle of challenge and remarkable technological and human superation. The very pressure of the environment was not merely a physical condition. It was, in its deepest and most profound essence, the defining characteristic of submarine life, a constant and formidable challenge that irrevocably molded the character, the courage, and the remarkable adaptability of the crew, tirelessly testing the outer limits of both advanced technology and the boundless human spirit. Chapter 28. Time for reflection time. For reflection was a rare and deeply valued privilege aboard the submarine, a precious moment of profound introspection and quiet, often solitary, contemplation amidst the relentless, demanding, and highly regimented routine of daily operations. It served as an invaluable opportunity to meticulously process the complex experiences lived and the myriad emotions that had inevitably accumulated within them, within their cramped yet functional bunks, or occasionally in a surprisingly quiet and rarely disturbed corner of the mess hall. Crew members diligently found brief and precious windows for their own thoughts to wander freely and uninterruptedly. It was a vital period for self-analysis, for meticulously personal planning, and for a candid evaluation of decisions previously made, both individually and collectively. The remarkable and pervasive absence of external distractions, such as social media, constant television, or unlimited internet access, forced the human mind to decisively turn inward, relying on its own intrinsic resources. It was a unique and singular opportunity for deep introspection and for the detailed planning of future personal and professional objectives. A mental landscape of their own making, reflection on the ongoing mission, the unexpected challenges they had bravely faced, and the invaluable lessons learned along the way was an absolutely important and integral part of the professional and personal development of every single crew member. It allowed them to transform raw, demanding experiences into practical wisdom and profound emotional growth, shaping their future actions. Homesickness and the profound longing for their distant loved ones were consistently common and often painful themes during these precious periods of quiet reflection, representing a deep and pervasive yearning for reunion and the comforting return to normal life. Memories of home served as a powerful and guiding beacon of hope in the midst of the profound darkness and isolation of their submerged existence. The future, meticulously crafted plans for their post-mission lives, their personal aspirations, and their professional ambitions were carefully contemplated and envisioned during these moments of profound quietude. The mind was allowed to roam freely, unencumbered by the immediate demands of duty, and to dream of countless possibilities and new opportunities beyond the steel hull. Reflection also served as a crucial moment for self-questioning, to thoughtfully evaluate the profound purpose and deeper meaning of their unique life aboard the submarine, and to resolutely reaffirm their personal and unwavering commitment to the mission's ultimate success and to the fundamental values that underpinned their entire service. Despite the inherent and prolonged physical confinement, the time for reflection was, paradoxically, a powerful form of mental expansion. It allowed their minds to travel far beyond the confining steel walls and to profoundly connect with their own inner world, their thoughts and their emotions, ultimately ensuring their sanity and contributing to their emotional equilibrium in an otherwise extraordinary environment. Chapter 29. Farewell to the Surface. The poignant farewell to the surface was a familiar and deeply ingrained ritual, performed with unwavering precision, yet it never truly lost its profound emotional significance for the crew. Each deliberate dive beneath the waves was a solemn and temporary departure from the vibrant world that they so dedicatedly protected. A silent and profound sacrifice. The last lingering glances cast towards the immense blue sky, at the free soaring seagulls wheeling overhead, and at the distant, shimmering line of the horizon, were meticulously etched deeply into the memory of every crew member. It was the final, cherished vision of freedom and boundless vastness for an indeterminate period. A stark and painful contrast to the confined reality that awaited them below. The gentle yet distinct sound of waves lapping softly against the massive hull, the crisp, invigorating smell of fresh ocean air, and the cool, bracing sensation of the wind on their faces were sensory experiences that would soon be swiftly replaced by the profound, almost oppressive silence and the inescapable confinement of the depths. This sensory shift underscored the complete transformation of their environment. The entire crew prepared themselves mentally for the impending and inevitable isolation, for the absolute absence of natural light, and for their complete and utter dependence on the intricate, advanced technology that would ensure their very survival in an environment where no human being was naturally meant to exist for prolonged periods. A radical shift in their reality. The dive itself was far more than a simple physical maneuver. It was a profound transformation of identity and function. The submarine transitioned from an imposing vessel navigating the sea's surface to a stealthy, silent machine operating in the darkest, most mysterious depths. The change was gradual, marked by subtle shifts in buoyancy and trim, but the overall transition was undeniably complete and irreversible until their eventual return. The farewell to the surface was also, implicitly, a farewell to personal privacy, to the sheer amplitude of open spaces, and to the effortless ease of communication with the unconfined world. It was a conscious and deliberate embrace of the new normal, the dark, challenging, and isolated underwater world that would become their temporary home, a universe unto itself, completely cut off from the familiar. The intrinsic promise of an eventual and safe return to home port was the most powerful and enduring motivator that consistently propelled them forward and sustained them through every moment of difficulty and doubt. With each new dive, the unwavering hope of finally surfacing again to the light of day was a bright, guiding beacon on their invisible horizon. A constant source of inspiration that pierced the gloom. The farewell to the surface was, in its deepest and most profound essence, an ultimate act of faith in their training, in their vessel, and in each other. It was a solemn commitment to the vast unknown, coupled with the absolute certainty, however distant, that upon their victorious return, they would possess incredible and unique stories to share and a newfound, profound appreciation for the vibrant world they had temporarily left behind. Chapter 30. The feeling of isolation. The overwhelming feeling of isolation aboard a submarine was profoundly pervasive and all-encompassing. A stark condition rigorously imposed by the very nature of their clandestine mission and the inherently hostile, secluded environment in which they meticulously operated. It served as a relentless and unforgiving constant test for the mind of every crew member, continuously challenging their deepest psychological limits, completely cut off from the vast outside world without any visual contact whatsoever with the boundless blue sky or the solid, reassuring earth. The entire crew existed within a sealed steel bubble, adrift in the midst of the immense, silent, and often unsettling ocean. Their existence was a contained paradox, surrounded by life, yet utterly separate from it. The absolute absence of frequent and meaningful communication with their beloved family and close friends intensified dramatically the profound feeling of loneliness, even though they were constantly and intimately surrounded by other human beings in an incredibly confined space. The deep yearning for familiar voices and comforting presence was a persistent, gnawing ache in their hearts. News from the outside world arrived only intermittently and was invariably filtered by the strict chain of command, thereby creating a distinct and often painful disconnection from external events and fostering a heightened, almost obsessive, focus on the immediate, internal, and highly restricted reality of their vessel. Their entire world reduced to a steel tube, the pervasive monotony of the internal environment, characterized by its unchanging gray walls, the hum of machinery, and the constant, unchanging artificial illumination, contributed significantly to the profound sensation of sensory isolation, with very few varied or stimulating external sensory inputs to fill the perceptual void that surrounded them. To effectively combat this overwhelming and pervasive feeling of isolation, its camaraderie among the crew members became even more vital and absolutely essential. Unwavering mutual support and continuous human interaction diligently helped to fill the emotional void and to maintain the crew's morale at a consistently high level, forging incredibly deep and resilient bonds that transcended mere acquaintance. The human mind, in its relentless and inherent quest for stimulation and meaning, could sometimes create elaborate imaginary scenarios or develop repetitive and intrusive thought patterns. This required a constant, conscious effort to diligently maintain focus, optimal productivity, and overall sanity in the face of persistent sensory deprivation and emotional strain. The feeling of isolation was, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the greatest and most enduring challenges of submarine life. It rigorously demanded an extraordinarily strong mental resilience and a crucial, innate capacity to actively find deep connection and profound purpose within the most incredibly confined and profoundly isolating environment imaginable, and turning an ordeal into a unique human experience. This deep sense of detachment from the surface world compelled a unique kind of internal self-reliance and an even greater dependence on the tightly woven fabric of their on-board community. They learned to draw strength from each other, a collective anchor in the psychological storm of their solitary existence. The vast, silent ocean outside their hull served as a constant, humbling reminder of their extreme isolation, further emphasizing the extraordinary nature of their chosen existence. Yet, in this isolation, they found a profound understanding of themselves and their fellow crewmates, forging bonds stronger than steel. Chapter 31. The importance of scent aboard a submarine was a peculiar tapestry of aromas, a distinctive blend of metal, lubricating oil, human sweat, and, occasionally, the comforting, sweet smell of freshly prepared food. The sense of olfaction was acutely heightened and surprisingly important in this unique and confined environment, serving as a subtle but crucial sensory input. The pervasive smell of diesel fuel and various lubricants was a constant olfactory presence, deeply impregnating the air and all available surfaces, an unceasing reminder of the complex and powerful machinery that diligently kept them alive and fully operational in the profound depths. It was an ingrained aroma that stubbornly clung to their clothes and even permeated their skin, constant companion, the unmistakable and inviting smell of fresh food, particularly the alluring aroma of freshly baked bread, or the invigorating scent of newly brewed coffee, was a true balm for their senses. A welcome and stark contrast to the predominantly industrial and mechanical odors that filled the air. These comforting culinary aromas provided a brief, yet intensely reassuring reminder of the vibrant outside world and its simpler, cherished pleasures. The subtle, yet distinct, scent of salt and the characteristic humidity of the ocean, delicately carried in by the meticulously controlled ventilation systems, served as a constant and tangible reminder of the vast and powerful ocean's unseen presence surrounding them. This constant olfactory connection subtly linked them to the very element in which they were deeply submerged, a reminder of their environment. Odors emanating from cleaning products and powerful disinfectants were common and pervasive, serving as a clear indication of the ceaseless and arduous battle against the relentless proliferation of bacteria, insidious mold, and other microorganisms in such a tightly sealed, persistently humid, and inherently damp environment. Maintaining hygiene was paramount for their health. The critical ability to precisely identify any unusual smells, such as the acrid odor of smoke, the pungent scent of a chemical leak, or any other anomaly that might indicate a mechanical malfunction or a dangerous event, was absolutely crucial for the safety of the entire vessel. The human nose, in this unique context, functioned as a vital and primordial sensor. An early warning system, the sense of olfaction also possessed the remarkable and profound capacity to powerfully evoke strong and vivid memories. A familiar scent, such as a specific perfume, a distinct spice, or a particular cleaning product, could instantaneously transport the mind back home to cherished moments in distant places, providing both a fleeting sense of comfort and a poignant wave of longing. The undeniable importance of scent in the submarine was a powerful testament to the remarkable adaptation of human senses to an extremely challenging and highly specific environment, in a place where visual input was severely limited and often uniform. Every subtle sensory clue became inestimably valuable for the survival and overall well-being of the crew, honing their other senses. This olfactory landscape became as familiar and significant as the limited visual one, a constant, nuanced signature of their unique existence beneath the waves. It subtly influenced their mood, their awareness, and their sense of connection to their immediate surroundings, reinforcing their internal world. Every subtle shift in the air's fragrance could convey crucial information, from the operational readiness of a system to the imminent approach of mealtime, making the sense of smell an indispensable tool for interpreting their highly controlled environment and maintaining their situational awareness in the dark. Chapter 32. Lessons learned that life aboard a submarine was far more than just an occupation. It was a rigorous and transformative school of discipline, an unyielding test of resilience, and a profound journey into self-knowledge. The numerous and invaluable lessons learned in the crushing depths irrevocably molded and shaped the character of every single crew member in indelible ways, profoundly impacting the rest of their lives and their perceptions of the world. The fundamental importance of the team was a lesson that became deeply ingrained in the soul of each individual. They quickly understood, through intense shared experience, that no one would survive alone. Unwavering collaboration, clear and effective communication, and absolute mutual trust were the intrinsic and undeniable foundations of everything they did, and indeed of their very existence in such an extreme environment. Mental resilience was not merely required, it was constantly and relentlessly tested and continuously refined with each passing day and every new challenge. The remarkable capacity to cope effectively with prolonged isolation, persistent stress, and the pervasive monotony of their routine was a vital skill that consistently made them stronger and more capable of facing all future adversities. Both at sea and on land, the deep appreciation for the small, simple things in daily life became an intrinsic and deeply cherished habit. A hot and flavorful meal, a night of relatively quiet and undisturbed sleep, or a brief, casual, and comforting conversation with a trusted colleague were suddenly considered true luxuries and profound sources of contentment, things often taken for granted before. Adaptability was a crucial and absolutely non-negotiable characteristic for survival. Mission plans could change drastically and without warning in the blink of an eye, and the ability to swiftly and effectively adjust to new situations and unexpected scenarios was absolutely essential for the success of each operation and, fundamentally, for the continuous safety of everyone aboard. Patience was a virtue that was developed to an extreme degree, tested relentlessly at every turn. The prolonged waiting for crucial information, for anxiously anticipated radio communications from home, or for the eventual end of an exceptionally long and arduous mission, demanded a monumental dose of self-control and unwavering perseverance from every individual, cueing their limits. The self-confidence of each crew member grew exponentially with every challenge successfully overcome through their collective effort and individual skill. The profound experience of operating effectively in such a hostile and demanding environment, and of performing complex tasks with precision, powerfully strengthened their deep-seated belief in their own capabilities and the competence of their teammates. The invaluable lessons learned aboard a submarine were not confined solely to their military service. They remained deeply embedded with the crew members throughout their entire lives. These transformative experiences profoundly shaped their worldview, refined their character, and significantly enhanced their intrinsic capacity to face and overcome any future adversity that life might present, making them uniquely resilient individuals. Chapter 33. The Invisible Horizon. A connoisseur's invisible horizon was more than a physical characteristic. It was a profound metaphor for the very essence of life aboard the submarine, symbolizing the complete absence of any external visual reference point that severely limited their perception and continuously challenged the human mind's innate need for perspective and orientation. Without any windows, portholes, or even a constant periscope view of the sky or the surface, the entire crew lived within a perpetually skyless world, or one without a defined horizon line. The immense vastness of the ocean was an oppressive and keenly felt presence all around them. Yet, it could never truly be seen directly through the thick steel hull, creating a unique sensory deprivation. All navigation was conducted exclusively by precise instruments and complex, meticulously calculated geographical coordinates lying heavily on detailed and highly intricate maps. Their faith in technology was absolute and unwavering, entirely replacing the natural visual orientation and intuitive cues that would normally guide them in the outside world above the waves. The human mind, naturally accustomed to boundless, open spaces and expansive, limitless horizons, had to adapt drastically and profoundly to an environment of extreme confinement, where the only visible and immediately attainable horizon was invariably the next steel bulkhead or the entrance to an adjacent, equally cramped compartment. This forced a radical shift in their spatial perception. The unwavering hope of returning to the surface was their true and guiding horizon, the most eagerly anticipated destination that relentlessly propelled the entire crew forward, day after day, It was the precious and vital promise of finally seeing the sun shining brightly in the vast blue sky again, a beacon of light at the end of their long, dark, submerged existence. The invisible horizon served as a constant and powerful reminder of the unique nature and inherent paradox of submarine life, representing a profound challenge to human perception and standing as living proof of the remarkable human capacity to adapt to conditions that initially seemed utterly impossible or unlivable. The absence of a visible horizon also had a crucial practical effect. It forced the crew's undivided attention to focus intensely on the immediate present, on the critical task at hand, and on their direct, pressing responsibilities. The future was the return, but the absolute now was the mission that demanded their complete and unwavering focus and execution. The invisible horizon was not merely a physical limitation, it was an intrinsic and defining part of their profound experience, a powerful symbol of the peculiar, intensely challenging, deeply psychological world in which they lived, operated, and silently persevered day and night. Deep beneath the surface of the vast, mysterious ocean, forever shaping their perception of space, this perpetual lack of a physical horizon underscored their complete detachment from the surface world, reinforcing the unique psychological landscape of their submerged existence. They learned to find their bearings not through external visual cues, but through an internal compass of discipline, purpose, and unwavering trust in their instruments and their crew. Chapter 34. The Rhythm of Vigilance. The relentless rhythm of vigilance was ceaseless and implacable, a constant, silent, yet powerful beat that permeated every compartment of the submarine, diligently ensuring that the entire crew remained in a state of maximum alert and unwavering readiness for any unforeseen circumstance that might arise. Work shifts were meticulously executed with an extraordinary level of heightened attention, their eyes constantly fixed on the complex array of control panels, and their ears acutely attuned to capture any unusual sound or subtle deviation from the norm. Fatigue was an ever-present, insidious enemy, one that needed to be fiercely fought, expertly managed, and strategically overcome at all times to maintain peak performance. Safety rounds were carried out with an unparalleled degree of meticulousness, involving the systematic inspection of every compartment, every intricate system, and every single square inch of the vessel in a ceaseless search for even the smallest anomaly or potential sign of failure. This extreme precision in their rounds represented the primary and most vital line of defense against any unforeseen incident or malfunction. Sleep, though undeniably vital for physical and mental recovery, was frequently fragmented and often abruptly interrupted by the piercing blare of system alarms or urgent calls to duty that demanded immediate and decisive attention. The crucial quality of their rest was a persistent challenge, constantly requiring the crew to develop unique strategies to optimize their limited moments of repose. However brief, the senses of each crew member were remarkably sharpened and highly refined, rigorously trained to instantly detect the smallest sign of impending danger, the most subtle indication of a problem lurking beneath the surface of normalcy. Their intuition often complemented the cold, hard logic derived from instrument data, serving as a critical guide for their rapid actions. Vigilance was not merely confined to the complex mechanical and electronic equipment. It extended profoundly to the well-being of their own fellow crew members. The physical and mental state of each individual was continuously monitored and supported, a clear and tangible sign of the deep mutual support and camaraderie that actively strengthened the group as a whole. Readiness was far more than a mere state of being. It was a pervasive mindset, a continuous state of profound preparedness that permeated every single moment of their demanding life aboard. At any given instant, a critical emergency situation, a hostile enemy contact, or an unexpected technical challenge could suddenly emerge. relentlessly demanding immediate and decisive reaction from every individual. The relentless rhythm of vigilance was, in essence, the very vital pulsation of the submarine itself, diligently ensuring that the powerful vessel was always one crucial step ahead of any potential danger, steadfastly protecting its invaluable crew, and successfully fulfilling its strategic and often clandestine mission in the dark, profound depths of the ocean. Chapter 35. Memories of the outside world were not mere fleeting thoughts. They were treasured, deeply held possessions stored meticulously in the hidden recesses of every crew member's mind, serving as an invaluable mental refuge from the harsh, unyielding reality of their prolonged confinement in the dark, silent depths of the submarine. The vivid images of the boundless blue sky, of lazy clouds drifting freely above, and the warm, comforting sensation of natural sunlight on their skin were recalled with an immense and profound affection, creating a stark and often painful contrast to the artificial and constant illumination within the submarine's interior. This visual dichotomy profoundly emphasized the beauty of what lay beyond their steel prison, the distinctive, cherished sense of the land, the damp earth after a rain, the fresh aroma of mown grass, the sweet perfume of blooming flowers, and the invigorating saltiness of a sea breeze were powerfully evoked by memory with remarkable clarity, providing a brief yet profound olfactory relief from the monotonous and often industrial smells of their enclosed environment aboard the vessel. The soothing sounds of nature, the cheerful chirping of birds at dawn, the gentle rustling of leaves in a soft breeze, the innocent and unrestrained laughter of children at play were vividly heard and relived within their minds, forming a poignant and comforting melody from a distant world that seemed, in their isolation, almost impossibly far away and unattainable. The faces of loved ones, the familiar visages of cherished family members and closest friends, and the warm, comforting voices of those held dear were remembered with a deep and persistent longing and a profound sense of missing. These precious recollections served to fill, however briefly, the vast emotional void created by the painful absence and immense distance imposed by their mission. The simple everyday activities, once taken for granted, now held immense significance. A leisurely, unhurried walk in a sunlit park, relaxed meal enjoyed in a favorite restaurant, or a casual, joyful encounter with friends. These were suddenly valued for their inherent simplicity and the profound freedom they represented, a stark and cherished contrast to their restricted and highly structured life below. Memories of the outside world were a constant and powerful reminder of what they were bravely and diligently protecting, and, even more significantly, of what patiently awaited them upon their eventual, triumphant return to home. These cherished recollections served as an inexhaustible source of profound hope and their primary, unwavering motivation to persevere through every challenge. These deeply personal and intimate memories were frequently and openly shared among the crew members, further strengthening the unique bonds of camaraderie and actively fostering a deep sense of unity. This collective sharing revolved around this shared and profound expectation of one day reuniting with the vast, vibrant, and incredibly beautiful world beyond their steel walls. Chapter 36. Life. Key. In ships was the very essence of the submarine's relentless, continuous operation. An unceasing and rigorously planned cycle of intense work, necessary rest, and vigilant watch that diligently ensured the vessel's unwavering readiness and peak operational effectiveness 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without pause or cessation. 3. Distinct daily shifts, each meticulously structured with an exact duration of 8 hours of demanding work, followed by 8 hours of designated rest, constituted the established operational norm. The body and mind of every crew member were forced to rapidly and profoundly adapt to this artificial and often exhausting rhythm, which fundamentally challenged their natural biological clock. The precise transition between shifts necessitated incredibly accurate communication and the seamless transfer of highly detailed and crucial information concerning the current status of all submarine systems and any ongoing tasks. This critical handover was vital to maintain operational continuity and ensure the absolute safety of the mission, leaving no room for misunderstanding. Sleep, though universally recognized, is absolutely essential for their physical and mental recovery, was frequently fragmented and often abruptly interrupted by the piercing blare of system alarms or urgent calls to duty that demanded immediate attention and action. The consistent quality of their rest was a persistent and ongoing challenge, requiring the crew to develop unique strategies to optimize their limited moments of repose. However brief, meals aboard the submarine were carefully adapted to the demanding shift schedules, with hot and nutritious food being served at different, staggered times to precisely accommodate the crew members who were either actively on duty or currently in their designated rest periods, diligently ensuring that adequate sustenance was provided to everyone at appropriate intervals. Adaptation to the demands of shift work required an extraordinary level of mental discipline and profound resilience, as both the body's natural inclinations and the mind's internal clock inherently resisted the fundamental breaking of their natural circadian rhythm. It was a continuous and often exhausting process of readjustment for the human organism. A battle against biology, camaraderie manifested itself in a particularly remarkable and practical way through unwavering mutual assistance and genuine support exchanged between the different ships. This often involved the exchange of small favors and the offering of help to ensure that every individual received the necessary rest they desperately needed for their crucial functions. It was an unspoken pact of shared burden. Life in shifts was, in its very core essence, an eloquent and powerful testament to the unwavering dedication of the entire crew. They willingly sacrificed the natural rhythm of their bodies and lives to meticulously maintain the submarine's continuous operation at full efficiency. It's an implicit and profound commitment to the mission that transcended personal fatigue and discomfort. Chapter 37. The Tests of Resilience. Tests of resilience were an unceasing and integral part of life aboard a submarine, a continuous series of formidable challenges that pushed the physical and mental limits of every single crew member to their absolute breaking point, revealing their true inner strength and capabilities under duress. Prolonged confinement. The absolute absence of natural light, and the near-complete lack of personal privacy were constant and insidious trials for the mind, relentlessly demanding an exceptionally strong and unyielding capacity for profound, psychonical adaptation to successfully endure the pervasive pressure and deep isolation. Critical emergency situations, such as sudden and unexpected system failures, outbreaks of internal fires, or dangerous compartment leaks, served as dramatic and rigorous tests of their unwavering calmness under immense pressure and their unwavering ability to execute complex procedures with precise surgical accuracy in moments of dire crisis, directly impacting survival. The pervasive monotony of the daily routine, consistently allied with the inherent stress of their clandestine missions, demanded an extraordinary level of profound mental resilience to consistently maintain unwavering focus, undimmed motivation, and sharp mental acuity over extended and often unpredictable periods of time, effectively preventing complacency or deep discouragement from setting in. The pervasive homesickness and the agonizing, palpable absence of frequent and direct communication with their cherished loved ones constituted intense, emotional tests that rigorously demanded remarkable inner strength and a constant, empathetic, mutual support from their comrades to mitigate the deep, personal pain of prolonged separation and longing. Rigorous combat drills and highly realistic simulations of various war scenarios were meticulous and demanding tests of the crew's tactical skills and their crucial ingrained ability to work seamlessly and efficiently as a highly cohesive team under the most extreme and realistic simulated conditions, diligently preparing them for the absolute worst-case scenarios. The process of recovery from errors or unexpected failures, whether they were individual missteps or collective operational setbacks, was a profound and critical test of resilience. The crucial ability to learn swiftly from mistakes, to adapt their methods, and to decisively move forward with renewed determination was an absolutely essential factor for their continued safety and future mission success. The numerous tests of resilience profoundly and irrevocably molded the entire crew, transforming them into individuals who were demonstrably stronger, remarkably more adaptable, and fundamentally far more capable of effectively facing the most diverse and demanding challenges that life could present, both aboard the submarine and on dry land. After their dedicated service, every unforeseen obstacle became an opportunity to demonstrate their collective fortitude, pushing them beyond perceived limitations and solidifying their unwavering bond. This crucible of experience refined their character and strengthened their resolve, making them true masters of adversity. These trials were not just about survival. They were about profound self-discovery, revealing the hidden depths of human capacity for endurance and the unwavering spirit of those who serve beneath the waves. They forged an unbreakable inner strength that would serve them long after their time in the deep. Chapter 38. Waiting for return, the palpable. Waiting for return was a pervasive and often overwhelming sentiment that saturated the atmosphere aboard the submarine. A complex blend of anxiety, profound hope, and the growing, comforting certainty that home, the surface, and the cherished normalcy of life were, at last, steadily drawing nearer with each passing moment. The days, which previously had seemed to drag on with a monotonous and almost unbearable slowness, now appeared to stretch even longer and felt more intensely tense as the mission's conclusion finally approached its inevitable end. The minds of the crew, almost instinctively, began to turn with increasing anticipation towards the outside world and the eagerly awaited reunion with their beloved family and dear friends. The meticulous preparations for their return, such as the final and comprehensive cleaning of every compartment of the submarine and the careful organization of each crew member's personal belongings, were all carried out with a palpable sense of mounting anticipation and a quiet, yet persistent, optimism, symbolizing the nearing completion of a demanding cycle. Conversations among the crew members increasingly revolved around their specific post-mission plans, the long-awaited and much-deserved vacations they had dreamed of, the personal projects they had put on hold, and the myriad of small, yet incredibly significant joys of life on solid ground that patiently awaited their triumphant return. Filling their discussions with hopeful anticipation, the underlying anxiety about the well-being of their families back home, and the nagging uncertainty of whether everything was truly fine, was intense and constant. The immense geographical distance created a profound void of information that could only be completely and reassuringly filled at the joyous and emotional moment of their reunion, finally dissipating all lingering doubts and fears. The discreet, yet deeply felt, celebration of a mission successfully accomplished was a significant and cherished milestone for the entire crew. Success meant not only a safe return of the formidable vessel, but also the profound satisfaction and immense pride of a job arduously, courageously, and expertly executed against all odds, a shared triumph. The first breathtaking vision of the surface, the glorious and almost blinding initial rays of sunlight that finally illuminated the submarine's massive bow, was a moment of profound emotion and overwhelming relief. It served as the undeniable and visual confirmation that their long, arduous waiting had, at last, definitively come to its triumphant end. The waiting for return was the powerful, visible fuel that consistently kept the entire crew steadfast, resilient, and focused throughout their arduous deployment. It was the unwavering promise of a warm, comforting embrace, a reunion with loved ones, and the eventual return to cherished normalcy and routine after a journey that was long, challenging, and, for many, profoundly solitary in the dark depths. Chapter 39. Reconnecting with the world. Reconnecting with the world outside the submarine was a momentous and often overwhelming transition, a vibrant and exhilarating explosion of new and intense sensations that sharply contrasted with the pervasive, sensory monotony of the prolonged confinement they had stoically endured for so many weeks and months. The brilliant light of the sun, at times almost dazzlingly bright and even physically painful for eyes meticulously accustomed to the perpetual gloom, was perceived as a profound and undeniable blessing. The comforting warmth on their skin, the crisp, invigorating sensation of fresh, open air filling their lungs were sensory experiences, long forgotten and now intensely cherished and deeply appreciated beyond words. The cacophony of sounds from the port, the piercing cries of seagulls wheeling overhead, the comforting murmur of distant voices, the distinct whistle of ships, and the familiar hustle and bustle of land life formed a vibrant and encompassing symphony that enveloped them. It was a rich, welcoming auditory experience that contrasted starkly with the almost absolute silence and the rhythmic, mechanical hum from within the submarine's steel interior. The sheer vastness of the sky, the seemingly endless line of the horizon, and the explosion of vibrant colors of the world above the waves were almost overwhelmingly powerful for their perceptions. It's a true sensory overload after months of severely limited, uniform, and controlled visual stimuli. Their minds and eyes struggled to process the richness of this new visual reality. The long-awaited and deeply emotional reunions with their beloved family and friends were moments of profound human connection, overflowing with tears of relief, heartfelt laughter, and the simple yet incredibly powerful comfort of physical touch. The genuine embrace of a loved one was a visceral and powerful affirmation of their safe return and profound reconnection. Adjusting to civilian life presented its own unique and often unexpected challenges. The newfound freedom of movement, the overwhelming abundance of choices in everyday life, and the constant, unfiltered flow of external information required a significant and often challenging period of readaptation and complex psychological readjustment, a relearning of normalcy. Yet, amidst these adjustments, there was an undeniable and newfound appreciation for the simplest and most mundane aspects of life. A leisurely, unhurried walk in a sunlit park, a quiet meal enjoyed without time constraints or interruptions, the luxurious privacy of one's own space. These seemingly trivial things were suddenly perceived as treasures, newly discovered and profoundly valued. Reconnecting with the world was not merely a physical return, it was a deeply personal and transformative journey of rediscovery, a profound recalibration of their senses, their emotions, their very souls. After their extraordinary and isolating odyssey beneath the implacable and silent waves of the ocean, they returned, changed, the new perspective on life. Chapter 40. The echoes of the deep. The profound echoes of the deep lingered persistently, a subtle, yet pervasive presence. Long after the formidable submarine had triumphantly surfaced and the dedicated crew had safely disembarked onto firm land, it served as an indelible and constant reminder of their extraordinary and unique journey beneath the vast, mysterious waves forever imprinted on their souls. The unique silence of the ocean, which had once been a paramount source of strategic advantage and an essential element of their safety, now resonated deeply within their cherished memories, forming a stark and poignant contrast to the varied and often overwhelming sounds of everyday life and bustling activity on land. The profound feeling of confinement, though physically gone and no longer a present reality, had undeniably left a deep and lasting imprint on their psyche. This experience permanently shaped their newfound and intense appreciation for open, expansive spaces, boundless horizons, and the unrestricted freedom of movement they now possessed. A freedom previously taken for granted. The unyielding bonds of camaraderie forged in the darkest and most challenging depths remained absolutely unbreakable. A unique and profound connection understood fully only by those select few who had intimately shared the isolated, demanding, and profoundly silent world of the submarine. It was a bond that transcended mere friendship, a brotherhood forged instilled out the invaluable lessons of rigorous discipline. Its unwavering resilience and remarkable adaptability were now intrinsically woven into the very fabric of their character, influencing every aspect of their approach to the challenges and opportunities they encountered in their civilian lives, making them uniquely capable individuals. The constant and heightened awareness of unseen dangers and the intrinsic need for perpetual vigilance, a defining hallmark of their extended time operating below the surface, subtly informed their sharpened observation skills and their inherent caution in the world above, making them more perceptive and prepared in all situations. The profound and newfound appreciation for the simplest and most fundamental comforts of life, the refreshing feel of fresh air, the warmth of unfiltered sunlight on their skin, and the comforting, tangible presence of their beloved family and friends became an essential cornerstone and an invaluable treasure in their post-service lives. Things now cherished deeply. The echoes of the deep were in their purest and most profound essence, an eloquent and powerful testament to the transformative power of their unique and arduous experience. They served as a constant and humbling reminder of the incredible feats they had courageously achieved and the profound personal sacrifices they had willingly made in the name of their solemn duty, a legacy within them, even as they seamlessly returned to the perceived normalcy of civilian life. An intrinsic and indelible part of each crew member would forever belong to the silent, mysterious, and challenging world beneath the waves. It remained a profound and unforgettable chapter of their lives, forever shaping who they were and who they would become, carrying the deep within them. This unique experience forged a silent strength, quiet understanding that set them apart. They carried the vastness of the ocean, the weight of its pressure, and the unbreakable bonds of their crew within their very souls, a permanent connection to the hidden world they once inhabited. You've reached the end of a truly unique journey, exploring the depths of life aboard a submarine. It's a world most of us can only imagine, filled with unparalleled challenges and profound human experiences. We've seen the silent dedication, the fierce camaraderie, and the unwavering resilience that defines those who serve beneath the waves. The ocean, in its immense mystery, holds countless stories untold. What hidden world or extraordinary human endeavor would you like to explore next?